So Nettie's now. Oh, we're 10 o'clock. We're live. Hello. Good morning. You know, next at my you're live. Yes. Good morning. Please sort the mics. What's going on with the mics? That's on. Is your mic on? You're all good. Check your mics. I'm on. You on? I don't know. I hope so. Josh, we all good?
Hello.
We'll soon find out, won't we? Are we hissing? Why are we hissing? You're live with static. Well, that's... I don't know why.
Wasn't me.
Are we still hissing? Live with static.
Is it me?
Yes, all gone now.
Yay.
Fabulous. Good morning, what a start. 10 o'clock crept up.
It did.
Just crept up. Absolutely crept up. Good morning, everybody. Are you all well? Because we have got John Cole Morgan in the studio for you this morning. Whoop indeed. Whoop indeed. It's lovely to have you here. And we have got this. So we are on to block 2 of John's block of the month. So on the website www.natashamakes.com you will find the whole quilt kit. You will find the quilt kit we put together for block 1. If you just wanted to make that block, which was this one here. That one there. So if you just wanted to do that, and actually I'm trying to remember, John, who it was, did the most beautiful bag with it. Did you see?
Nettie.
Was it Nettie?
Jeanette Gustafson.
She's honestly,
incredible.
she is incredible. She sent me a photo of her quilt that she did with the flowers.
She's amazing.
Just stunning. And she substituted the white plain for stripes, and it looked phenomenal.
It really did.
What an amazing lady.
Because she was doing that as the night version of it, wasn't she?
Oh, just beautiful. So no, very impressed with that. I need to find you all this morning. And oh no, I don't want to do that. Where am I?
That bag really looks good over your shoulder.
Do you know?
It really does.
Today's show this morning. We've also got this bag on. Now this is John's lick bag. For those of you that follow John on social media and watch, we were saying the other day, John, you are prolific on social media. Your dedication of going live at 1 o'clock every day. You don't even have weekends. It's phenomenal, just phenomenal. And I'm sure that has been an absolute lifeline to so many people throughout lockdown. But your tagline has become...
Don't lick anyone.
But
it comes from, I've got this customer who's only about 4 foot tall, and she is the sweetest lady. She's in her 90s. And just before the pandemic and we went into lockdown, she came into the shop to get something. And as she was leaving, I said, now, don't lick anyone. And I thought she was going to pass out with a heart attack. She could not stop giggling. So since then, I've told everybody not to lick anyone. It's a good rule to have.
I think this is, especially in the world that we live in now, this is sound advice.
Yeah.
And we should be teaching our children. Emily could do with this. She likes to lick people. She came to give me a kiss the other day, but it was one of those kids, full mouth open kisses. You never want to back away from your kids when they're coming in for a kiss, but I was going to get eaten. And then this morning, 2 years old, turns around to me. I was trying to explain to her that her teacher wouldn't let her take her 3-foot helium unicorn balloon to school. I mean, it's bigger than she is. She just turned around, locked me in a dead-on gaze and says, "Don't you say no to me." Right.
Noted.
We're going to talk about that because, I'm the parent. So that was fun. So anyway, we've got it in grey, which I love. We've got it in denim as well, which is also great. But I think this is also just a great pattern for, dare I say it, a man bag.
Completely.
And because you could always take the lick out.
Well, you can put the lick on the flap on the inside, so it's a
The
bit of
lick
a
on the
reveal. You could do that one.
I'm not
I
saying
stopped
a
myself
word.
mid-sentence.
John Carl Morgan's in stage, never guess. And then we've also got the kit still.
Shall I just go?
So gone to pot. Oh, that didn't come out quite as intended. We've also got this one from last month. John, do you know what that bag caused us to do? You know, you did the... So John and Becky were offering like a 9-hour workshop. It was something crazy like that. 4 hours with one and 5 hours with the other. But when you were putting it in your basket and checking out, of course, it was charging you postage on it.
Oh no!
Yeah, so SJ put that right to anyone that asked. But it meant that we had to shut down our entire website for a whole day and change the entire way that we do our shipping.
I blame Becky.
And I blame Becky.
It's all Becky's
And
fault.
allocate, but now we've allocated a weight to everything, which is so much better. So now your postage is calculated on the exact weight of your parcel.
Makes
so it's much
more
fairer.
sense. Yeah.
It's much fairer. That was on the option. So anybody that tried to buy the workshop, has the workshop happened yet?
Yes, one of them. But there is a repeat as well. So because the foundation paper piecing section, it's quite a big thing to take on. So there's another one in about a week's time.
So they can join in again if they want. So that is also on the website for you if you wish to join in on that. And yeah, we did shut down the website. It was something that we wanted to do anyway, because then we can start posting abroad. And actually, you know, that's all coming up for those of you that are abroad and keep saying, can you ship to us? Can you ship to us? In the past, we haven't. That is happening very soon. So we have got, on today's show, we have got the leg pattern there. I'm not going to be able to look at that in the same way now.
You said it, not me. But we blame Becky for everything. It's just
blame
easier.
Becky for everything.
Yep.
This is a collaboration between John Cole Morgan and Becky Alexander Frost. I can only imagine the giggles.
Oh, we get more giggling done than work.
Yeah, of course you do.
But next month's bag as well. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Next month's bag sounds phenomenal, I have to say.
Yeah.
I've forgot my things over there, ready for when I go and sit over there. One last thing to show you very quickly, because it's all about John. It's all about you, darling. It's all about you.
I didn't like to say. Can I just say what the joy of coming here is? Seeing behind the scenes, all the things that you have made, that I have seen you make, look 10 times better in real life. That cave quilt, if it disappears, it's going into my bag.
Oh, we're frisking you, don't worry.
God, it's gorgeous.
I could just see you swooping down the driveway with it in like a superhero cape.
Oh, you know I'd quilted bring it back after using it for a while, but it is so beautiful.
Well, that is going to teach me to do free motion embroidery, because I'm going to free motion around every single flower or 50.
And you know the white areas?
Yeah.
Doing zigzags and feathers in the little white areas.
Yeah, well, that's what you're going to do when I then give it to you to do the rest of the quilting. I like to think of it as a collaborative project. That was last week's show, if you're wondering what we're talking about.
It was good.
I had an email from a very lovely lady who said, I watched your show with Gary, lovely Gary from Dukey.
Love Gary.
And we need to have conversation because I cannot believe that you have got a mini beast and have never even got it out of the box.
No, I have. I've got it out of the box. I've just not actually played with it and done it properly.
I love mine. I can't play with it enough. Now, and she said, on the show, Gary said about changing your needle every project. Do you?
I do on this one, but the one project I use, the machine I use normally is my industrial, and I will confess I've never changed the needle on it. I know. Do as I say, not as I do. Because I put the needles in a safe space.
Mm-hmm. So, the conversation with Gary went, I have a packet of 100 needles, and so, because otherwise, if I've only got 5 in a pack,
Yes.
I get really stingy with them. And also, you pay more for a pack of 5. So if I get a pack of 100...
You don't mind doing
I don't mind. I change it.
Genius.
Yeah.
What width are they?
Now, Because Gary said he uses an 80 for everything.
Yep.
Because he's changing it so regularly, he goes with a finer needle, and then that will go through leather, it will go through pleather, it will go through quilt, it will go through everything, and perfect for your quilting. So I have got for you the ones that I use. He also did the snapping test to make sure that if they come under any kind of pressure, they snap rather than bend. Bending in your machine, and I didn't realise this, I just thought snapping a needle was a bad thing. Snapping a needle will save your machine. It's better to have a needle that snaps than bends, because if your machine is working with a bent needle, it can be catching on that bobbin case, and that will make it sound dreadful. Ask me how I know. So these are now the needles that I use. Gary snapped them on air, made sure, yep, they would snap cleanly.
Perfect.
That's all good.
Because there's nothing worse than snapping a needle and losing a bit. Because that takes hours to get out.
$25.99
For 100?
for 100.
Oh my God.
Whereas normally you'd be paying, for a pack of
£2
five.
for £4 for a pack of 5.
Yeah. So now this is your most, and then if you're anything like me, you won't mind just swapping them out. So I keep a pack of 80s and I keep a pack of 90s. Jane, you're John. I'm looking at you. Hello, you're John. Jane, who we also went with, she likes the 90s, so I keep a pack for both of us. So then,
I use the 70s.
Sorry?
Somebody once said to me that it was Philippa Naylor. I did her class, and she only uses the 7010s. Which I thought was extraordinary, and she does it for everything, but her work is so incredible.
So, this is on the next size up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's all good. Anyway, they are there. Let's have a quick good morning to everyone. We've got Myra. Good morning. Myra, your horses are divine, by the way. Rona, good morning. Veronica, good morning. Heidi, good morning. Oh, good morning from Cyprus. Have you seen Heidi's rescue dogs?
No.
Oh, she's got this most gorgeous puppy rescue dog. She's in lockdown again.
Oh, in Cyprus.
1 text a day to go out, so better get sewing. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth has missed us. What, you, actually? I don't think she missed me.
Hello.
I'm here regularly. Morning, Pam. Morning, Grace. Morning, Becky. Oh, it's
Is that
fine
Becky
now.
Alexander Frost?
Of course it's Becky Alexander Frost.
It's all her fault.
Laurie says, good morning, pretty lady. Love your new over jacket.
See, I think you look amazing. You were a bit worried.
I worried that I looked like Margot from The Good Life.
Good Life. No, you
that
don't.
was my concern, but I love it anyway, and it's a bit floaty. So, Laurie says, please lick me.
I'm going to leave that one for Natasha, Laurie. I don't know how to respond to that.
Morning,
I've got a great lick back, though.
It's about not licking, Laurie. Juanita, good morning. My sewing bee book on Saturday that arrived. She said quicker than I thought. Yeah.
Can I just stop for a second?
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah.
Now, your Kay Fassett book.
Yeah.
The best book I have bought in years.
Beautiful.
Isn't it the most incredible book?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know people go on about, this book. It is phenomenal.
Yep.
And having been in that space and seeing, it's just the best read. I think it's his best book.
It's such a personal one as well. They can go to all over the planet and have done and do for their Quilts In range that comes out every August in time for Festival of Quilts. But this one is their home. So there is something intensely personal about it. There is also just a lovely acknowledgement to the fact that Kay Fassett Collective doesn't happen. It's not a one-man band. No. There are so many people that get involved, and it's a good nod to all of those people. And but yeah, we've both had the privilege of going to the Kay Fassett studio, which is their home too. Let's not forget, it's their home. And it is every bit as exquisite as the book. And obviously there's so much else there as well, but you get a good feel from it in the book.
But it was the first book I picked up, because I've got virtually every quilting book out there. It is the first one I picked up, flicked through a few pages. 3 hours later, I was still reading it.
I read it cover to cover.
You know how busy you are, and literally sat down. I could not put it down. And the fact on page 208, you've got how to make those quilts, the needle, it's truly
and the needle
genius.
point and the knitting and everything. So even if you're not a quilter, if you've got someone who doesn't necessarily quilt, I send it to my mum who doesn't quilt, but she knits. And so for her, that's absolutely perfect. And she just loved the colour. She's like, I'm a bit overawed by all the colour. She said, but I pick out little bits and you can digest it in little bits. Since having children, I audiobook. I don't get the chance to read. The Kay Fassett books are the only exception where I will sit down and read it cover to cover. They're just, and you can, and they're beautiful.
Sorry.
No. Claire says, good morning, John and, Natasha and gorgeous John.
Oh, thank you.
In-law weather check. Oh, she lives quite close to my in-laws, so I always,
right.
I just like to make sure how are they doing. Weather check was dull in Warringburg first thing, but we can brighten it. Oh, that's all right. It'll be all right for Glam Pam's dog walk. Morning, Donna. Looking forward to this demo. Heidi says only puppy dogs can lick.
Quite right.
Yeah. Oh, Becky says shut the front door. Don't blame me.
Always you.
John's the diva. It's his fault. That's what she said.
I'll go with John
That's
the diva.
what she
John's
said.
the diva. I'll definitely give her that, but it's not my fault. It's Becky's fault. Everything's Becky's fault.
Morning, Jess. Lovely to have you here. Morning, Val. Morning, Van. Hi, I've got my cave book today, bedtime reading. It's just absolutely beautiful. Morning, Karen. She says it's sunny in Wigan. Morning, hey, Naomi. Oh, you're not working today. That's good. Lazondre. Good morning from the United States. International Natasha Makes, right?
Well, my friend Tracy Arnott should be watching from Canada as well.
All over the place. I don't know if April E is on yet, but April gets in from Australia. Janet says, good morning, Natasha and John. Geraldine says, so glad that you're back with us, John. Amanda and Gillian, good morning. Claire, her kids like to lick. Yeah, my Adam licked my hands when I was holding his. What the heck, child of mine. Yeah, they do. What did I find? Oh, I'm not even going to tell you what I found Emily licking the other day. It's just...
I think you have to now, Natasha.
And then they just want to put a whole load of sterilising stuff on their hands at school. I'm like, you don't know what she licks. Like, you haven't seen the stuff she licks. That is the last of her problems are her hands, if I'm being completely honest. Could we look at making something like your top, Natasha? Be lovely to wear in the summer.
Ooh.
Oh, Petey's going to nag me about it. She will.
Do you know what? I would do that as well. I've got this crochet poncho and it is enormous and it's the brightest colour in the entire world. And my landlord saw me walking into the office with it and he said, what is that?
Beautiful.
And I was like, fashion, darling. Look at that. Come.
Right, okay. So this is the other thing. When you get your cave book, there will be one page on it that I suddenly realised how something was spelt that I had spent my whole life not knowing how to spell, but knew how to pronounce. Thanks to Absolutely Fabulous.
Le quoi,
Sweetie.
Le quoi.
I love that you knew exactly what I was talking about. Le quoi, sweetie, le quoi. Elizabeth says, what's wrong with Margot? She was ace. Well, I mean, I have a great Dane called Margot, who is also ace. You don't look like Margot.
Hang on. Are all your pets with an M?
Margot Maud.
Malcolm and Mortimer.
Malcolm and Mortimer.
Oh, I love it.
McCarthy.
Love it.
Malcolm McCarthy for the vet, please. Oh yeah, April is here. Brilliant. And Jenny from Bracknell. And gotta say, the Lips Bag Genius Plus glasses.
Oh, Becky, take notes. That's a good idea.
My brother said to me, oh, you've got glasses, have you now, sister? Yeah. He said, are they designer ones? I took about 50 off Amazon because I could buy 4 for $9.99. And the illusion is destroyed. Right, I'm going over there. You're coming over here. And yeah, let's crack on, so they say. There we go. John, over to you.
Thank you.
What are you drinking today?
Lipton iced tea.
I
I'm
know.
not drinking enough liquids, apparently, so I'll put that over there. Hello. Thank you very much for having me back today.
Thank you for driving all
good
this way and
speaking.
getting up
I don't mind
early.
at all. My husband minded because I'm a bit grumpy in the mornings. But can I just show you the other colourway? Look at
Love
that.
it.
I love it. But then we do it in a light colourway as well. I can't decide which one I like more, but my tongue's upside down.
Do you know what? Hang on. Do that again.
See?
No. The other way round. Because if you want a slightly...
Which way is this
Yeah,
going?
no, but just hold it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, just a bit odd. I like
I
it.
like it.
Yeah. There you go.
Right, first of all, we have got the block of the month.
Yes.
So we've
do
got
not
the
digress.
two colourways. We've got the colourway that's on the wall over here, which is so divine. And we've also got our blue colourway, which we've shown you before. This is block 1. So you can see that would go in like that.
Nice.
I'm not going to try and put that up there. And then we've got block 2. Now, please, I wrote the pattern, tested the pattern, checked the pattern, made the samples and found an error. So make sure when you're doing it, you're going to make 4 like this, and you're going to make 4 like this. Can you see the difference? They're exactly the same. It's just this top bit you put together slightly differently. So if you look here, that one's going that way and that way, but you can't possibly do it the same way if you do them that way, because if you try and rotate this, it's going to be exactly the same. So when you put these together, your navies have to go in different directions. So just bear that in mind when you're putting them together. You can make 4 of each. It might be easier if you do it that way. Do you want to do that overhead?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Myra
all right.
was just admiring your shirt. She said, oh.
Thank you, darling. My husband's. So you can see one is, you're going to do 4 like this where they're going this way, because if you rotate this round, ask me how I know, it doesn't give you that block. So you're going to make 4 of those and 4 of those if you're doing the block of the month.
Hang on. Do you and your husband just share clothes that you do?
Constantly. It's
Gemma
the
and
best.
I had this conversation.
It's one of the best things about having a husband is that you get to wear all his clothes. And he will spend a lot more money on shirts than I will.
This is brilliant. Gemma and I were saying the other day that, if we had wives, you would have to be careful to get someone that had the same shoe size as you.
Yep, quite right.
Or not if you didn't want to share.
Yep. Shoes, he can have them. I'm not a huge fan of campers, but the shirts we share.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's good. So this was the colourway that we did last month for the block 1.
Love that.
And when we were choosing our colourway for block 2,
If
can't
you bought
imagine
the
that I
quilt,
had.
you've got enough for all of that. But if you are doing this block by block, then we will build it up for you in colourways that will work.
Will match, exactly.
Yeah.
And I haven't taken Becky Alexandra Frost's colour palette into mind at all while doing this. Please notice the pink and purple. Can't imagine why we did that. But this block is really, really, really fun to make. Nice and easy. But you have got to know your 1/4 inch seam really, 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 really well. If you haven't got your 1/4 inch seam perfect, I will suggest that you just take a bit of time to figure out how to do your 1/4 inch, because it is so important. Because when you do your flying geese without a good 1/4 inch seam, you are going to end up with a block that is a lot smaller than it should be.
Right, so my top tip, because when I first started sewing, and I did not have a machine that was particularly, it was a 250 quid one at that stage.
Yeah.
And it pulled to one side.
Yep.
And I just thought I wasn't very good at sewing and I couldn't sew a straight line. Okay, so my top tip, this all got so much better for me when I finally bought a one of the guided feet.
The 1/4 inch feet, yeah.
Thank you.
I totally agree with that, because
and it just meant that it abutted all the time and I didn't meander off. And it soon becomes muscle memory, doesn't it, John?
it really does. And the thing is as well, if you're just, as long as you're consistent, even if your block is a bit short, it doesn't matter, because you can fix that with the sashing. And I will show you clever ways of doing that when we finish the quilt off. And I may have made 1 or 2 blocks. I'm going to say intentionally that are slightly smaller, because I need to show you how to expand the sashing in order to make it fit.
Is it intentional now?
No, the rest is going to be perfect.
Okay, well, this is fabulous. Sonia says, good morning, Natasha and John.
Morning.
Looking forward to the show. John, thank you for your support over the weekend. Lots.
Oh, how's your hubby doing?
I
She'll
don't.
answer later.
Okay, I don't know.
Big hug. You just literally have no idea what people are going through, so it's important. Whatever's going on, be kind. It doesn't matter who it is, be kind.
It's very true. I mean, they are words to live to, aren't they?
They
Dawn
really
says,
are.
morning, when are the Strapology rulers? I'm desperate for one. They should be landing this week, Dawn. I can tell you the exact message that I got from Rachel the ruler.
Rachel Cross.
Yeah, was, morning, expected next week, day to be confirmed, thanks. And that was last week. So
Rachel's very good, though. It will be here.
What are you? Take a step to the side. It looks like you're doing... No, the other side when you're cutting, it looks like you're doing some sort of ballet manoeuvre.
I am. And I got my slippers on. Jeez. Every time. Slippers. And then you can slide the slipper off so you can be barefoot when you're sewing. So all I have done here is I have just cut 2 lots of triangles. But when you do this, you'll have more than enough. So you can see I've made enough here for 2 blocks. And this is how much you've got left of the kit. And I've got enough for 2 blocks. And you can then see you've got at least 4. You'll easily have enough in this for 4 blocks.
Okay. So what did you just cut? What side?
So all I've done is I have cut the triangles out for this section of our flying geese. Now what I've done is I've gradiated the colours to try and go from dark, medium, light, and I haven't cut the other colourway just yet. So that's going to be our triangle there, because I thought that was quite a nice little colourway. But I thought the lovely Jo is here today.
The lovely Jo is here today.
I've had complete brain.
Gemma, Jane?
Jane. Why did I call her Jo?
I don't know.
Jane, I'm
They
so
all begin
sorry.
with a J sounding
So
start.
sorry. It's like your animals, they're all with an M.
I know.
So you can see I thought we did the grey because we thought the white might be a bit stark. So I like cutting lots of them together to get it all done, because I think when it's done it's just better. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But the easy way of doing this is you end up with loads of these in order to make more, which is fabulous.
Now Myra has made a discovery. It
Hi,
took me
Myra.
a while to discover this as well, Myra. She said that with the jelly rolls with the pinked edges, they're slightly bigger.
No, it's because the measurement is from the bottom of your pink.
Yeah, it's from the trough, not the peak.
For some of them. The others, Moda is from the trough, but it's Lewis and Irene that are from the peak.
I don't, just check.
One of them's from peak,
yeah, I would say just always check. Always check these things. Now what are we doing here?
So now we are just double checking your measurements, and we're just now cutting. That was right. Now I've lost my place. There we go. So all I'm doing now is I'm cutting myself a good square. I'm squaring this off. I move this down.
Oh, Jojo says, Tash and John on my TV. Finally, at last, I'm able to see. No more catch up. Can watch the show live. Now Sonny's back at work, 9 to 5. Yay!
Woo.
Did you have a telehog? Where they hog the remote telehog?
Oh, I'm probably the telehog.
Are you? You
Yeah.
don't get time to watch TV, John.
No. That was what I love about doing any form of shop samples, is that I stick the Real Housewives of Somewhere Trashy on in the background. Are you a Real Housewives fan?
Do you know what? I have watched
3.
some of them, but during lockdown, I have had a real thing about what influences I have in my life. And
That's very, very healthy.
I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to these things because for me, and this is kind of, it's the basis of neuro-linguistic programming, is that what you see, what you hear, they are the things that affect you, and then ultimately what you say. So for me...
That's a good point.
Yeah, you know, what I hear, and also self-talk as well is massive.
Very.
So, you know, these are just, they're just things that I'm very aware of, and it can change my day.
That's very true. We had to. I had to ban the news at 10 o'clock thing.
Yeah,
Because before going to bed, the last thing you need is that type of negativity before you go to sleep.
Yeah, it's one of those things that whatever you want more of in your life, you need to do. So for me, if and people say, yeah, but what about all the bad things that happen in the planet and the news? Well, actually, if people didn't watch the news because the negativity that was actually. If you only waited for the good stuff, then they would have to bring you good stuff. And it's only because people,
thrive on that.
Yeah,
it's true.
And for me, the biggest. I'm on a bit of a soapbox moment.
No,
you
you're
only
fine.
asked about some sort of.
No, I think it's really what you're saying is really important, because whatever you do surround yourself with is what you're going to be getting.
Yeah, absolutely. And when there was that terrorist attack in New Zealand,
yes,
the best thing that their Prime Minister did was say, we will not speak his name.
Because it gives power to it.
Just phenomenal.
Yeah.
We will not speak his name. She is amazing. Do you know what? I've regularly thought about just moving to New Zealand just because I love her. But do you know what? By the time that I get over there, she won't be present.
You can't get your animals there. You'd have to put them in quarantine, and that would be so cruel for your animals. You can't do it.
No, they wouldn't like it. You're right.
Nope, you can't.
No, I couldn't.
Nope, we'd miss you too much. And the time difference would kill me. I've got my lovely friend Tracy. She comes and watches us. And she's like, it's like 4 a.m. for her, and she's watching. And I just think she's mad. She's absolutely mad. She's divine, and I love her to pieces for it. But the time differences, I can't do that.
Some people just don't sleep, though.
Think of Gemma. Where's she going to go?
Oh, I take everyone with me. That's the
Fair
thing.
enough.
Everyone. I'm not going. Don't worry, I'm not going. I've never been to New Zealand either.
I haven't either. I'd love to go.
Me too.
At the moment, I'd go to the opening of an envelope if it got me out the house. Right, so now we are cutting our background pieces, and I'm using my favourite ruler of all time.
You love this one, don't you?
Oh my God, I love it.
This was, I mean, everybody knows I love a creative grid, and I'm probably only where I am because of creative grids, because they made me feel safe cutting.
Yep.
Because before I had creative grids, this was the only way I felt safe to cut.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how you use rulers that don't have non-slippity stuff on the underside.
I agree.
They make me feel really unsafe, and but you can't cut everything with this, much as I try.
No, you can't.
And so yeah, then I found creative grids, and it changed my life. What are we cutting now, John?
So now we are cutting our little white triangles here, but we're using a grey background here. And I did a little TikTok of this the other day.
No.
Here I am, an old person trying to get onto TikTok.
I don't really understand TikTok.
Oh my God, I love TikTok.
I don't know. What is it?
Basically, well, you sleep too well. You won't enjoy TikTok. Because for me, it's a case of I get insomnia and I can't sleep. I'm on TikTok for at least 14 hours after that point, and that's it. And Becky and I end up messaging each other TikToks, and she has to go into the living room because she's laughing so loud at all these silly videos that we keep sending each other.
What are that? What is it?
So basically, it's anything. So I've done one of the best TikToks I've done is I cut out, I think it was 600 half square triangles on TikToks. And what you do is you lay the fabric out, and you cut them into squares, and then you put your ruler on and you cut all your half square triangles at the same time, going all across the cutting mat. It's just basically little 1 minute videos of interesting things. Like and Becky does her bags on there. There are various other bag designers put stuff on there. The best one I've seen about quilting, which broke my heart a bit, there's a guy, awesomely attractive model, decided he was going to take... He sounds
dreadful. What's his name?
It's awful. I'll send it to you. But he takes these quilts that he's bought in antique stores from the 1800s and then cuts it out and makes a jacket out of it.
What?
So I'm conflicted massively.
How good looking?
Good enough that I've subscribed.
Oh, really?
But I still feel like a fraud because it's 1800. Literally, one was 1830.
Sacrilege.
But then equally, he's turned it into usable clothing that is wearable and is selling. You know, he's selling them for like $3,500 for a jacket. And you won't get $3,500 for a quilt of that age. You know, you just got to look on eBay on a second-hand quilt that's, you know, they're 30 quid, 40 quid. So more power to him. And I won't deny, I'm looking at my beautiful, gorgeous hexagon quilts and thinking, looking at your gorgeous flowiness, I'm thinking, oh, imagine that out of a half hexagon EPP.
I mean, it's like Joseph and the Amazing Technical
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to do it, like, hello.
Now, Nettie says that John's got me on TikTok now.
Oh
he
my
was
God.
sharing so many funny
Nettie, you'll love
things.
it.
The other night, I choked on my Ovaltine.
Yep, that was it. She did. And I sent them to her. No, but they are so funny. So there are so many different things. It's really good. So you see, this is what I do when I cut these out. So I've cut my squares.
Oh, yeah, hang on.
I'm hoping. So I've cut my squares, and all I do now is I take my ruler and I just move my ruler along.
Oh, genius.
You've just got to make sure you don't move the fabric or anything. And the most I've done this with is 36 inches of fabric.
Wow. I thought TikTok was just for kids.
It is.
Okay, good. But it's not going to be for long if we start whacking up a whole load of
Exactly.
quilty type stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, okay, so...
And look, I won't deny there are an enormous quantity, and I mean an enormous quantity of deeply, deeply attractive human beings taking their clothes off, not nude, but taking more of their clothes off than they should. So you go, you can see now I've got all my...
Hang on, sorry, I've got to... What?
Yep. That they're taking their clothes off and doing all these ridiculous things, and you're like, oh, that's dreadful. Is there another one? Oh, let me go on your page. Oh, you do it a lot. Oh, okay. I'm hoping my husband's not watching this.
And then you cut up quilts.
Exactly.
No wonder you can't sleep. Gosh.
No, seriously, when you see how hot this boy was, you would actually forgive him cutting up these quilts.
I don't know. He's going to have to be seriously hot.
He is. I have to say, your scissors that you had on the last time,
Yeah.
every time I come here, I find something else that I need to buy. It's terrible,
Yeah,
but
sorry about
wonderful.
that. Oh, yeah, you bought the whole scissor collection,
did.
didn't you?
It's impossible not to.
Are you enjoying them?
Loving them. And that seam unripper, oh my goodness, I feel like a little surgeon. You can see it's got this wonderful little scalpel blade, and you just go... Whoosh,
Do you want
whoosh,
to go
whoosh.
on a close-up with that? Because, there we go.
But literally, you've got like a scalpel there. Look at that shiny
Yeah.
blade of it there. And literally unpicking with this, you're like, whoosh, because you're irritated by the fact you've got to unpick at the best of times.
Well, the other thing is, if you just started off with that, because you can get in really, really close, and then you know the little easy snips,
Yep.
they work a treat.
They do.
As well. But a lady sent me a video the other day saying that she was struggling with that because it was wobbling at the end. You've got to really tighten that bolt.
Ah, okay.
If you don't tighten the bolt, then it will wobble. So you've got to tighten that bolt. John, that's such a good tip for cutting half square triangles, says Nick.
Really, really simple. And the thing is, we've all cut multiple layers before and not even thought about it. And then you just look at that and think, why didn't I think of that? So-
Karen says, John, have you seen the lady on TikTok with the oversized leather trousers this week? It's hilarious.
Send it to me.
The mind boggles, and now I'm slightly...
I'm terrified, but I can't wait.
Becky says that he sends... you also send her the nude men TikToks too. No wonder you two can't blink and sleep.
The thing is,
Too
we
overexcited.
all know Becky, and Becky's like, hi. And that's just Becky, and she's cackling with laughing, hi. You can just imagine me sending her half-naked men in the middle of the night, and she's going, hi. And Michael's sitting there going, what are you doing? And she's like, shh, go to sleep. Shh, nothing for you to see here. But Natasha, you've got really odd sleeping hours as well, because you're always up at like 4 a.m.
3:30, yeah.
Oh, it's mad.
Yeah. But only because, and it's not...
Well, you have small people.
Yeah, it started off being sort of I'd be in work by 6, and then
Oh, of course.
it started being I'll be in work by 5, and then when I was working at Hochanda, I had to leave the house by 4:30,
Yeah.
and I was doing that a couple of times a week when I first started after sewing quarter shut. So it was killing me because it was like working shifts.
It is, yeah.
And it was just awful. So
Well, that's what nearly killed me with the driving. The number of times I nearly fell asleep on the road.
yeah, it's not sustainable.
It's really
so I'm just decided it was easier just to get up at that same time and make that my pattern. And actually, I love it. I absolutely love it. And it was always just going to be 4 o'clock. But then last summer, my beautiful, beautiful horse Kai got colic.
Oh no!
And when he came back, he survived. Thank goodness.
That's really good.
But when he came back from the vets, he had quite an intensive regime.
Yeah.
So I had to do everything for him before I then started. So I still started at 4. I just spent half an hour sorting him out first. And then I was just in that pattern, and I love that morning time. For me, there's something really magical about it. Everybody thinks I'm mad. My brother's like, you can't keep burning at both ends. I'm like, no, I'm not burning at both ends. I'm asleep by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
But yeah,
you know, that's
as long as you're getting your sleep time.
That's the other way that it works.
But I have to say, because I haven't ridden horses for years, but all through my childhood I rode horses.
Yeah, you were
and oh my God,
Gymkhana boy.
But the peace that you have with a horse, it's extraordinary, and you just that half an hour, I completely understand.
Yeah.
What you mean.
We I have a might have a new one, and yeah, she's come from I might call it dressage. She's come from quite a high-end dressage yard, and it just didn't suit her, and she got ulcers, stomach ulcers and everything. She was a real stress head. So she's come here and she's done nothing but sleep. She's out with the herd. I keep my horses really naturally.
But it's the best thing for them.
Yeah,
it's what
no,
they love.
absolutely. It means she can actually be a horse, and she's just done nothing but sleep, and she just lets me.
But that's
her.
what they recover.
Yeah,
That's
you know.
brilliant.
And because it's quite a big thing for a horse to lie down to sleep,
Yeah.
because then they're very, very vulnerable. As a herd animal,
Exactly.
that's not great. But she's she's beautiful, so beautiful. So yeah, John, what are you doing?
Right.
Show
So
us.
as you can tell, this is what we're doing. So we've got 2 blocks. This is one.
Oh, hang on.
This is one.
Yeah.
And this is the other. So you
Yeah.
can see when I put this on here.
So
when
you put
it's
them next
finished,
to each other and go out from
Well,
there.
I do because I try and do things quite quickly. I'm quite prone at making mistakes. So I always lay my block out first, because especially when you're sewing bits together, I think it's really important that you can then see what you're doing, especially when you've got 2 that you've got to do differently, but they've got exactly the same components.
God, it really shrinks, doesn't it?
It really does, because that seam allowance, it really does. Now, the important thing is, when you're doing this, do not line the top of your triangle up here. You are lining up this bottom bit here. So you're lining up the edge of your triangle here with the big end of your triangle over there. So if I put that back there.
Can we go?
Yep.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the close-up.
Thank you, ma'am. So you're lining up, so you can see there's the base of your big triangle.
Yeah.
You're lining up one of the short sides of the small triangle with the base of the big triangle over here. And then at the top, you're lining this up with the points.
Oh, genius.
And then when you flick it round, you're going to have a little bit of a point over there.
And that's all okay.
Okay, now that is absolutely fine. Now the thing that you've got to remember is, when you're stitching along this line here, which is the short end of your big triangle, if you do a dead-on 1/4 inch and you press it open, your 1/4 inch seam is actually bigger than 1/4 inch, because you've got the thread where the cotton is, the fold, and everything else. So you're trying to get this to be a scant 1/4 inch by 1, possibly 2 threads of cotton. So what I'll do is I'll do 1 with a full 1/4 inch.
John, I am going to set you a challenge.
Oh God, here we go.
Said with love.
Yes, dear.
And if it's not the case, if it's the case, okay, just press that on our pressing mat.
Oh no, I will. But I'm going to show you, because what I'm doing is I'm doing one way and one the other. And the pressing is fine, but if you've got it dead on 1/4 inch, some machines, okay, I'll try it.
because it's, I went back for the cave quilt that I did last week. I went back to pressing on an ironing board.
Yes.
And hated it because I'm so used to using our pressing mat. And our pressing mat is made from the felt that they use, what the Queen has, the underside of her.
I've expected nothing else.
Well, I know, right? We have standards, John. We have standards.
Obviously. So over here you can see I've just gone ever so slightly in on the two seams, and it's literally one cotton thread. So if I line the seams on top of each other, you can see it's one cotton thread. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay, that's not working as well as I thought. But I'm going to try this. Let's see. And I always set my seam first. And by setting it, you're literally just doing that. And then you just pull this piece of fabric up and just gently let the nose do the work for you. You're not moving anything else. And once you've done that, you just hold it in place, especially with the triangles, because you do not want to be stretching the bias. And you just gently take the nose.
I see. I use the whole side of my iron to gently.
See, with me, I find there's a little bit of a curve in it, so I find that sometimes curves my triangle out.
So I work my way along, just use it. For me, that's just how I know what you mean about the curve.
Because then, when I put these two back together. Oh. So you can see a slight difference when I line these two up here. Oh gosh, it's quite a big difference. Look at that.
Hang on.
I'm wondering if that's my cutting, because that's a huge difference. That wouldn't be like that.
These are the other things, aren't they? You know, it's not.
Because you saw I cut those first three together all at once. So it's just important to take note of what you're doing. But you can see when you fold that over, if you take the distance between there and your seam, you're at 3 1/4. And on this one,
switch back.
you're at 3 3/8. But you can see it quite well there. Oops, sorry, I keep moving the things around. It's ever so slightly bigger here than it is on this one. So when you do press it open, in theory, this then is the correct. Oh, when you do press it open. Sorry, I'm missing. Okay, I will stay here, Natasha, I promise. When you do press it out, then in theory, this measures the correct width to have it when you've done a scant 1/4 inch. But I am interested about the mat. I think that's an interesting point. I've not tried that before. And then when you come to do the other side, you do exactly the same thing. You line your triangle up, but you're measuring it against this line here and this line here. And you'll know you've done it right for when you come to sew this section.
That'll measure 1/4 inch
this
down.
bit here, when you get to that point there, it'll be a dead-on 1/4 inch in the peak. And if you don't get it right, it's very simple. Give up quilting, never start again, and send your stash to me. That's all you do.
I think that's fine. I mean, we can share that. Karen says that she loves her House of Alistair pressing mat, hands down, one of the best things that she ever bought. It makes a big difference for me. And the only reason I mention it is because with a lot of your creative grids, it talks about using a scant 1/4 inch. But because I use that pressing mat, I never use a scant.
That's a good point. I've never tried that, Matt.
Well, I'll send you home with one and you will love it. So these are the pressing mats that the tailors on Savile Row use. You can only get this colourway. Alistair has black ones. I don't think we've got any of those left. And then these were made because I wanted a slightly lighter one. I like a little bit more colour. And she says all in black today. But,
but you got colour on the black.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are used by the Savile Row tailors, and they last a lifetime, and they are then handed down from master tailor to apprentice.
Oh, wow.
And the nice thing about them, I mean, that's folded in half at the moment, but you can see
they are really big.
See the pressing ham in front of you here, John?
Yes.
If you just grab that, you can drape the pressing mat over the pressing ham for when you want curves and things like that. But also, because you can put it onto, So you've got that, and because the felt is, like I say, it's what it goes under the collars on the Queen's army uniforms, the Trooping of the Colour, those guys, all
Fabulous.
that. Yeah, so it's top-notch stuff. It's very, very expensive to get hold of, but it means that the heat is then reflected back.
Which is what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been known to press on you shouldn't, but I've been known to press on my cutting mat with that, and it's never.
Fine.
But obviously that's not.
I think that's the second most. I'll come to that now. If you're going to chain piece these, now there's one of two ways of doing it. You need to have what they call a donkey, and a donkey is just a little tiny scrap piece of fabric, using like a selvage that you've just cut off your machine, cut off your fabric. And when you're doing it, the reason being is some machines will suck in these tiny little triangle corner bits. So if you put them onto the edge of a working piece of fabric, your fabric won't get sucked in. The other way of doing it is, instead of showing the pointy bit on the tiny bit there, if you turn it this way, the machine will then work taking that in with you. So I personally prefer taking that bit in, because you've got more fabric on when you do your chain piecing the whole way along. It is entirely up to you.
It just takes up the tension, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's really good.
And I will literally then do all 16 of these triangles in one go. So whilst I'm doing that, I will tell you my second favourite thing I heard about a sewing item. It was from Jane Greenough.
I love Jane Greenough.
Oh my God, I adore Jane. She is so, so lovely. But the fact that her needles for her sewing have got the same amount of gold as a British grenade.
Darling.
Darling, obviously. I just adored that. I won't deny that was probably why I bought so many of her needles.
She did get a bit over the top when she was having the gold put on her needles. That's why they are so much better than pretty much anywhere else.
But it's that lifetime guarantee.
Yeah. Where else do you get that with a needle? You just don't.
And she said in the history of having the company, she's only had 2 needles be returned.
Really?
Which I thought was extraordinary.
Well, you see, this is it though, isn't it? As a manufacturer or something like that, you don't put that kind of guarantee on something. No. It's like with the Juki machines, the refurbished ones that we were selling the other day. They go out with a 2-year guarantee, same as buying a new one. Yeah. Because they know the quality of their machines. They don't doubt it, they trust it, they know it. It's all good. Yeah, oh, here we go. April in Australia. Our pressing mats have made it all the way to Australia. She said that she loves hers.
So you see, I know this is where I shove the Real Housewives of Somewhere Trashy on in the background, have them all screaming and throwing tables at one another, and I realise how good my life is.
Do you think they must surely play up for the camera? Surely.
Well, they get paid $500,000 an episode. I'd play up for that as well.
I'd throw a table at someone.
Andrew said I should start the Real Housewives of Tring, and I thought, no, they can't handle that. But they did do a Ladies of London, which was a knockoff of it. And they had...
Because there were the Real Housewives of Cheshire, weren't there?
Cheshire. Yes. I definitely will never be wealthy enough to be on one of those.
Do people... You see, I just wasn't sure that people lived like that. Do they really live like that? Yeah. Do they?
Yeah. You see, back in the day, I'd be a ladies' what lunches, which would sit there and whinge and moan about the... Well, actually, no, I've got nothing to whinge and moan about my husband about. I'm very, very lucky. But you do go and you have these lunches and do nothing, and it just comes out of boredom.
You see, there are certain things in life where nothing good comes from them. Bored housewife lunches. No. It's certainly, I think, is possibly one of them. Kids that hang around by the...
You'd be a very good lady what lunch.
Well, I'd enjoy the lunch.
Yeah.
I'd certainly enjoy the lunch.
Did I tell you that we booked our Christmas lunch?
Have you?
17th of May, 12 o'clock. At our favourite restaurant.
Brilliant. Do it. Well, this is it. So I don't know about you, but I now feel that when I eat out, I'm just helping the economy.
Yep.
It's not.
To be fair, I felt that way beforehand. I felt that way beforehand, that I was just propping up our local restaurant. It's
almost charity work.
Exactly.
You know, that's how I like to think of it. The Real Quilters of Tring. Now there's a programme I watched. Says Karen.
I like that.
Yeah, but that would mean I'd have to move to Tring.
You could guest star.
Do they have good schools there?
Very.
Do they?
Darling, it's like 4 miles from Berkhamsted School, darling.
I have to sell a few more quilts, aren't I? Claire says,
but
I
as
love
everybody
a
will
donkey.
contest, there are no houses in Trig at the moment. Everything is sold.
Oh, yes.
Right, so we're on our last one, and then you do an epic press.
An epic press. Oh, we do love a good epic press. The other thing that also helps me get a really good crisp line when I'm cutting is, of course, pressing it with a best press or
Flatter,
a starch
things like that.
savvy or a flatter, something like that. Oh, Myra says, I have my TV on Facebook Watch and on mobile.
Oh, that's
if
good.
I need to move around, I just carry my
Do you know one of the
phone.
nicest things that I put on recently to do was your interview with Kay from Brandon? That was so lovely. And that first one you did with him as well when you went to the house.
Oh, yeah.
That was so amazing.
Just so
And I think I've
lucky.
watched that 3 or 4 times.
Have you?
Because what I love about Cave is when you actually start talking to him about what he does, he just lights up.
He really does.
He really
He
does.
really does. I did a brief interview with him on Hochanda / the Start, their craft store.
Oh, yeah?
I can't get used to calling it the craft store yet.
No, not yet.
And
But I'm so glad they changed their name.
yeah, me too, because it's easier to find on the listings and people know now what it is. But the whole problem was, to start off with, there's a delay. So we did it on Skype, but I don't know if you've ever
Oh, yeah.
there's a delay. So
There is.
it took a few minutes, a bit jolty to start off with, because it took a few minutes for both of us to, I think we were both afraid of talking over the other one, because you know, you'll always get people go, oh, she just, you know, the presenter just talked over. And it's like, but you're not. It's quite a difficult thing to interview on Skype.
Is. I think until such time as somebody has had talk back in your ear, and you're trying to have 4 conversations and be professional by saying something really lovely to all of you, whilst you've got someone rabbiting on, or in my case, bloody shoving food in their face all the time. It's yeah, it was a stressful. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
Karen says, I feel like that when I buy fabric, I'm doing it for the economy.
Quite right.
Just doing my bit.
Quite
Karen,
right.
you, you're like the fabric Mother Teresa.
Like it.
We love it.
We encourage such behaviour.
Well, we do, and that, I mean, everything. These things keep the cogs turning,
exactly.
don't they?
Well,
You
it's
know?
also about your own mental health keeping you going. I had my first lot of customers in last week. It was wonderful. It's very stressful though, because you get somebody in and then you've got to clean absolutely everywhere, and you've got to watch where they stand and touch and look and breathe and exist, and you wipe everything down with 6 million antibacterial wipes before you let the next one in. But it's just so nice having people back in again.
People,
It really
talking
is.
people. It's got to be done. You see that? Yeah, this is lovely and therapeutic. Do you know the thing that I loved watching, and I don't know if you've ever watched it, and that is Schitt's Creek.
Love.
That made me laugh
Baba,
and
Baba.
cry. And,
I love it.
But you see, something like that is kind of like I think I probably growing up watched every CSI, and I
Yep,
wanted and,
yep.
and I did a course on it, all sorts.
I
of
think most wives have though.
Yeah.
If ever that day
Well, you
comes.
know, we'd be very good
know.
at it. Oh, Lisa's
Do you know
here.
what I'm
Hi, Lisa.
rewatching at the minute, which I haven't seen in ages, is Call the Midwife. I cannot stop. Everybody was saying they call the Misery, because you just end up crying all the way through it. It's the most beautiful, beautiful program.
Yeah, you see, I never got into anything like that. It's like one born every minute because I
didn't
never,
like that one.
I never ever watched it because I thought that's just going to give me the fear. And I don't think when you have children that you need to have the fear.
No, not at all. Have you watched This Is Us? No. On Amazon Prime. It is, well, I'll get on Amazon Prime. I think, and I'm going to put this out there, that and Grey's Anatomy, I think, are the best written TV shows ever.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't
It's-
watched Grey's Anatomy either, so maybe I need to watch that.
You have to watch that from the beginning, though. And if you don't cry when Denny Duquette dies, you're not human.
Oh, well, you've just spoiled it all.
No, you'll see. It's the even though you know it's coming, because you know the minute she gets in that elevator, you just know. But yeah.
Jan, just Good morning, John and Tash. For a
Hi,
long
Jan.
time, I thought Ho Chanda was an Asian network program.
Okay.
I hate talkback. Bought your last motor scrap bag last night, Tash. What did we have a
Who's
motor
that?
one left? It's Jan. I thought it was one of my
Oh,
I don't
talkback's
know.
horrible.
Talkback is tricky. You see, my mum used to tell people that I worked on Ho Chanda, and they said, was it a foreign network? Because it just sounds, it's home of, home of crafts, hobbies, and arts.
Yeah.
I can never remember. I have to see
The
it
fact
written
it
down.
survived so long with that name is extraordinary.
But they are.
But
such
they're
a lovely
amazing. It's
team.
definitely one of the best that I've worked with.
Well, apart from
from you.
us, absolutely. Let's have a look at this.
So now what we've done is we've sewn, ignore those two, but we've sewn one arm onto all of them. Okay, so now all you do is you're going to plop that on, line it up, and start over there. And remember, if you miss a point, get Natasha's address, send your stash to us, and just give up quilting forever. It's over. Your life is done.
Oh yeah.
I'm just joking, obviously.
Oh yeah, SJ. She said I've watched that during lockdown. Love, love,
Which
love,
one?
love, love. Schitt's Creek.
Oh, it's really good.
It's really beautifully written, and
Very.
then when you get to the end and you don't want it to stop, and it all finishes.
Just finishes beautifully.
It does finish beautifully. Did you then watch the interview?
Yeah.
Because the father and son, David the
actually
son,
father
they
and
are
son.
actually
Yeah.
father and son, and his sister, his daughter, she is the girl in the cafe.
That's right.
It was just so lovely.
It really was. It was a really well-written show as well. But we have been spoilt for choice for telly of late. Well, the rest of us have. You haven't. Is there any TV show that you would binge watch other than CSI? Have you watched Downton?
Yeah, I've watched all that.
Did you hear there's a new one coming at Christmas?
Is there really? I thought they'd
Number
done all
two's
of
out
that.
at Christmas.
Amazing.
But Maggie's dead now. But to be fair, she was 110 at this point.
Well, yeah. No, these things happen.
Happens to us all.
No, I never got into Call the Midwife. What else do I... So when I had when I had Freddie, what I found was that I needed a show that was sort of gentle, didn't have any, Inga and I call them guns, tits and aliens movies. No shooty, bang, bang, any of that, because obviously I don't really want the kids seeing that, no matter how small they are. So actually, what did I end up watching? That was when I started watching things like Suits and...
That was quite a good show. Not very good when Catherine Hagel came on. Did you watch the Good Fight that was after that?
No.
They ended that as a very political statement, clearly written by Democrats. I couldn't care less what your political affiliation were, but a very, very powerful ending of the second season. So they apparently have got a third season coming on that. Very good show.
But it just meant that through the night feeds, you could wake up, watch a bit of it. It didn't matter if you fell asleep,
No, because you always knew what was going on the next time.
Episode was kind of formulaic.
Yep.
And that was how I got through children. that was the night feed.
Well, that's the thing with Call the Midwife at the moment, because obviously Andrew and I aren't having kids. It's that moment where you look at all these people having kids and you go, oh, that's so lovely. It's a very little bit of a blub blub.
Aww. Oh, PT says Line of Duty. I'm saving those up. That is my shooty exception.
Now, Line of Duty, I've not watched any of them.
Oh,
and
you've got to go
you
from
have
the
to watch
beginning.
all 12 of them from the beginning.
You do have to watch them.
But that's like, what, 120 hours?
Put a weekend aside, you'll be fine. A couple of weeks. You'll be fine.
To be fair, I desperately do need a weekend.
Well, there you go.
Watch something. Do you know, yesterday...
But get snacks in or get takeaways in, because you won't even want to get up and turn the oven on.
How do you turn an oven on?
Okay, good. Don't tell me your husband cooks
Everything.
as well.
He cooks, he cleans, he washes, he irons. He's amazing. I am the luckiest human alive. I really am.
I need one.
Well, I did say to him we could run a finishing school for husbands and he could teach them all. And when I suggested that to, I won't mention their name because they'll get cross with me. When I mentioned this to a happily married heterosexual man, he said, fly away.
Fly
Fly away. I'm very happy with the way my life is. I
Yeah,
don't want to change it.
My lovely husband,
But you've got a husband who cooks gorgeous pizzas all the time.
hence the 1.5 stone increase in weight over
You
lockdown.
look amazing. Don't be silly.
My need for my floaty Margot tops.
Well, you look fabulous, whatever you're
Thank you,
doing.
darling. But it was...
You didn't have the doctor tell you got to lose 4.5 stone before you've got to have surgery.
Oh, how rude. There's no need for that.
And the
No.
fact he looked like he did. Yes.
Oh, pot
I
and
won't
kettle.
tell you what I said.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you privately.
All right. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. So my husband, bless him, I was like, what are the clothes but in the tumble dryer? He's like, oh, no, I put some clothes in the washing machine. I just didn't know what setting to do. I'm like, no, that's the tumble dryer, which tells me that in the 12 years we have been together, firstly, you've never actually put on a load of washing, and secondly, slightly worried since you plumbed in the washing machine.
No, you see, I could plumb in a washing machine, but I won't turn it on.
I was slightly concerned
There's
by
a
this.
standing joke in our household. If ever the boiler goes or the plumbing or anything like that, I can fix that. Me, of all people, I can fix a boiler, no problem. But ask me to wash something, I'm not interested, thanks. No.
But it's the interest, isn't it? It's just
No.
the interest. So with the kids, I'm now getting them to sort the washing for me
Perfect. I
because
firmly believe kids need chores.
well, they do absolutely, and
Mary
because
Poppins, I am not.
it's very good for getting them colours.
Exactly.
So you know, this is the blue pile, this is the pink pile, this is the whites piles, and the
Exactly.
darks piles, and so you know, Freddie will make someone a fabulous husband one day.
Well, you're training them early.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Andy's
yeah.
mother trained him early. It was wonderful.
Emily, yeah.
Well, she can marry a Freddie.
She can, yeah. I think she'll need to. It was the hands on hips. Don't you say no to me, mummy.
I'm sorry. I know that it is totally inappropriate, but I am going to always be the best uncle where I'm going to go, work, girl!
I was torn between laughing my head off and being
No, you laugh
utterly
in
horrified.
private. You laugh in private and say, we'll talk about
Because-
that later, darling.
I thought that you had to be about 35, 40 before your mother came out of your lips. Turns out, no, you just need to be 2. I was like, oh my good grief. Well, my mum just laughed. She said, you get everything you deserve. I'm like, thanks. Elizabeth says we need a husband to clean, one to cook, one to foot massage, one to shop, one to garden. These 5 men should never meet.
I like the idea of them not meeting, but I've kind of got all of that in one go.
Oh, there you go. You're right then.
But if he touches my feet, I'm going to kick him.
Yeah, Stephen hates his feet
can't.
being
I
touched.
can't. It's really weird. I'll go for a foot massage because then they're brutal and they crack all those crystals at the bottom of your feet, and you know I must feel that my foot is being ripped from my body. But this casual, don't. No,
I just don't like feet.
no.
It's just not a thing.
You don't like cracking the crystals that build up at the bottom of your feet. Have you never done that?
Yeah, no, it's fine. But I can do that myself.
Okay.
I don't need anybody
Yeah,
else
Andrew's
to do
the
that.
same. Because I love doing that. And he's like, nope, get off me. I'll do it myself.
Oh, so Amanda says Line of Duty is fabulous. There's only 6 episodes a series, except the last one, which will be 7. Yeah, there were lots of people last night thinking it was the last one. It's the last night we went for.
Okay. Because I have to say, Lady Josephine started watching it as well. And they hadn't watched any of it, and they started watching it from the beginning, and she's saying how amazing it is. And I thought it was like 10, 15 episodes a season, and I thought, oh God, I don't have time for that. And the problem was, it was on Gogglebox the other night,
Oh.
and they always reveal, like Dr. Foster. That was a good show as well.
That
But again, I
scared
watched it
me,
on, yes, very much so.
especially if you've got children, I
Awful.
think. Scared me a
Awful.
lot, so I can't watch any
But
more
I
of
watched it on Gogglebox, so the whole of Dr. Forrester was completely destroyed for me because I watched the end on Gogglebox.
that. Ah. Who knew that making a TV show about people watching TV? I mean, that's just genius. Elizabeth said, I wanted to mention,
I'd love to go
John,
on Gogglebox.
you'd be amazing on Gogglebox.
I want to take Lady Josephine because she's so straight-laced on it. She is so straight-laced. But I make her blush uncontrollably with the awful things that I do.
That was going to be the next question, is how do you and someone very straight-laced, how does that work?
She just laughs uncontrollably.
Oh, okay.
Like
sorry.
uncontrollably. And
Like
she's
a naughty schoolgirl. That's
completely,
in my head, that's how that works.
Completely, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. All right.
Well, to give
Elizabeth-
you an idea, we said we were going to do our Christmas party. We were going to take them all to learn how to become strippers. The stripper pole dancing
Amazing.
exercise thing. Sylvia's got, I always get this wrong, I think she's got 2 shoulders and a knee that are artificial. That's probably wrong. But she's like half
Basically
of her.
bionic
Half of her,
woman.
exactly. And she's
Right.
like, I am not doing that. And I said, Joe can have your go.
Oh my goodness.
Sylvia's going to take the video.
So are you doing the pole dancing as well?
Of course. I'm going to
Amazing.
fall and break a hip, but hey, I need some time off.
There are other ways. There are other ways, John. Elizabeth said that I wanted to mention, John, you seemed more natural and comfortable with Natasha Menks, more than I've ever seen you. She said I deleted my first comment as it was inappropriate. Now,
It
obviously,
wasn't
I want
inappropriate and it was quite true. I didn't even read it, but yes.
I don't know what it was. I couldn't
it's
possibly comment.
Kindness costs nothing. I will say that.
Sue says, I think my husband is broken. I need one of those. Maybe he's just malfunctioning.
Yeah.
I think you just got
I
lucky.
think positive reinforcement helps. If they do it, make sure that you overgush. That helps.
But that's a bit like training dogs,
Exactly.
though, isn't it? You know.
It's exactly the same as training puppies. Beg Andrew not to watch this. Oh, well.
When you come home and dinner is never cooked for you again, are you going to blame me?
Oh no, because when I do cook, you make sure you use as many dishes as you can possibly do,
But that's what Stephen does.
and then you don't have to do it again.
Billy says my husband wouldn't know where to find the washing machine.
Now, all we're doing now, sorry, I'm jumping ahead, all we're doing is we're stitching these 2 together, and when you do, you fold this one on top, and you're going to stitch along this line, and what you're aiming for is to hit that point at the top there. That's all you're trying to do. If it doesn't line up, it doesn't matter. You're doing the best that you can.
Sue said that her husband designed aircraft, but it would seem that washing and drying is beyond him.
Beyond
Although,
or
to be
beneath.
fair, well,
Beyond or beneath.
he's great at repairing and improving. I think
it's important to recognise you can't have it all.
Yeah,
You've got to
I
pick
think
one.
find those strengths.
Exactly.
And just focus on those. Like you say, Stevens has a great strength for pizzas and things like that.
And he's a great dad as well.
He's a phenomenal father, yeah.
And he might not excel in the kitchen and that, but he excels in other areas.
Oh, no, he does. Just a lot of washing up is creative. I can still be washing the pans from a Sunday lunch on Wednesday. And the girls who will attest to the fact that, because I don't know, I just don't know how he uses everything. Everything. But then it needs soaking for at least 2 days before it'll come off.
No.
But it
Apple
always
cider
tastes
vinegar,
great.
Apple cider vinegar, 1
Yeah.
tablespoon, and I
Yeah.
got this off TikTok.
TikTok is
I promise you,
proving a
it's
gem.
incredible. And apple cider vinegar and half a cup of apple cider vinegar, bring it to the boil, put in a tablespoon of bicarb, and just boil it. It comes clean immediately.
Okay. Okay.
Try it. I'm loving watching your puppies play outside the window.
I love my puppies. They play for hours and hours and hours. They're just
wonderful.
Yeah. I was in 2 minds whether or not to have. There's a couple of months age difference between them,
Yeah.
so perhaps recall isn't as great as it could be for me. But through lockdown, where you couldn't walk them, give them the variety of walks and what have you, having puppies that played together
Yeah.
was our saving grace.
It's so important.
It's just one of those, isn't it?
Because we're debating puppies at the moment. I want 2 dashies.
Do
I
you?
want really baby cute little dashies because I want a dog that I can put in a little bag, a little like Louis Vuitton type thing, and carry it around with me everywhere. And if anybody complains, it's my support animal. You selfish person.
What, one of the calming dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It won't be, but there we go.
Eric did a photo shoot, My Great Dane, for Virgin Trains, And it went in it went in all the national press, and it was a few years ago now, and it was just to let people know that Virgin Trains, you could take your dogs. And I think there were like 12 dogs on the train for this photo shoot, and so all the seats were filled with people and dogs. And of course Eric ended up, because he's trained for TV and film, whereas the others, I think they'd just got them along off a website. And so bless him, he ended up, of course, being front and centre of all of. It corrupts up on my timeline every now and then.
Love it.
But one of the dogs on there was an anti-anxiety dog, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. I think they've gained in popularity since.
They are. But there are people who do have those anxieties. I'm not making fun of it in any way. It's just a case, I love puppies, and like, your cats have gotten so big. And they're so adorable.
Just in a month. Jan says, I love listening to you two. No idea what you're making until I watch it back later.
Me neither.
Phone is in my pocket because Red wants to chew it, but give him toys. He just buries them. Yeah.
Now, this is why I say, because you've been rabbiting on or chatting away, lay it all out every single time and put it back the way that it is. And I know it's right because I've got these
together.
I thought I did those the wrong way around, but I haven't.
No, you've done it right. No, you've done it right. You've done it right.
But there we go. So it's literally going through and making them like that. And now all you've done is, because you just make your twos become one, so you plop that on top of each other, and you stitch down there as well. And you're going to do that for all 4 of them. And then you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more seams, and you've done 2 blocks.
Amazing. Debbie says that she soaks pans in Ariel liquid. Works a treat. Do you know what? Actually,
That's a good idea.
It is. No, it is. But I have to tell you, John, I've just bought a super duper water filter machine, and you can change the pH of it. And when you change the pH to, I think it's to one of the high alkaline ones.
Yes.
It just lifts off the burnt stuff.
Oh, I will tell Andrew.
Phenomenal.
I don't need to know that.
You don't need to know that. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Heidi's friend breeds cream dash hounds in Ireland. Oh, don't tell Gemma. She'll be after one as well.
I just really, I've always wanted puppies. But living in London, you didn't have gardens, and where we are in Tring, we don't have a garden either.
Yet.
But the next house will have a garden, so we'll see.
It does make.
And the thing is, I want to get a little dachshund that literally fits in a handbag, and I want to call him Spike or Murderer or, something like that. You just want to be able to call it across a field where people go, what? I love.
Our very good friend, Graham, God rest his soul, had a pointer, and his pointer's name. He wasn't a point. Was he a point? No, he was a short-haired. Maybe he was a short-haired point. Anyway, he was called Help.
Oh my gosh!
So
what a cool name.
Yeah,
but that might be a bit awkward in the park.
Yeah, help!
I love it. Now, when you press these, I always press that the nose of my triangles goes down, so I'll be pressing that way, because then it's also, you're pressing to the dark side as well.
To the dark
now, the pressing,
side.
I'm going to move this over here. Are you sure I can press this on your cutting mat?
Yeah.
Okay. It's really easy. I grab the nose, I put the iron on the end, and I just tug it along ever so gently and move the iron along. That's the way I do it. It may not be the way you want to do it. That's how I do it. As long as you've pressed them as best you can, you're looking for that. And if you've done it well, okay, I've hit 2 of them and I've slightly missed 1, and no one's going to care.
It's fine. Elizabeth, it's fine because it's got a setting for beauty, which is slightly more acidic. She's saying alkaline isn't great for the nails. But no, it's got one for beauty water. It's pretty phenomenal. Pretty phenomenal.
Now, I won't deny the new house is going to have a waste disposal unit.
Nice.
It's going to have one of those. It's having the built-in coffee machine.
Amazing.
Actually, no, it's not. I'm going to get one of those. I found this industrial coffee machine that I want, which just lights up, and it's amazing. Man in our town, if you come to Tring, second hottest man in Tring runs the coffee shop.
Okay.
Hottest man in Tring runs the shoe shop.
And you're not into shoes?
Oh no, even my husband went in and he's like, yeah, I need all my shoes repaired. No, he's beautiful. But the coffee man, Aaron, is one of the nicest men you'll ever meet in your life. He is so, so lovely. And his coffee machines are incredible.
So what do you go in for, the coffee or?
Aaron,
Okay.
100%.
Right, okay. Just a bonus that his coffee's
Yep.
nice. Becky says, my Michael uses everything when he cooks. It's just
needed.
a thing. It's just a thing. Whereas I wash as I go, so that by the time that the food is on the table, everything's washed up anyway and we're good to go.
I just eat out.
Oh, Zoe says, just Googled the Virgin Train ads. Your Great Dane is fab. Eric
wow.
has the most beautiful blue eyes. He is Eric the Viking with his big blue eyes because he was a rescue. We had him at 6 months. He was an absolute bastard. He was horrible.
Oh, no.
He was horrible. And after 2 weeks of having him, my husband turned around to me and said, we've made such a mistake. I'm like, I promise you, because I wanted him, I promise you I will sort him out.
Yeah.
I will
just gotta
sort
take
his
the time.
training. And yeah, he ended up doing loads of film and TV and modelling, and he's got a 2 or 3 page spread in what was it? I want to say Vanity Fair, something like that. You know, just all these sorts of things. He's done all sorts.
I love that. Because Sylvia's she's got the Mastiff Great Dane Cross, and she got him from Battersea.
Amazing.
5 months old, he and his brother were thrown out of a car in Lewisham.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
And you just think, and he's huge.
Yeah, no, they were. You see, people will have got them during lockdown and then not
That's exactly
realise
what it
how
is.
big they were going to get,
Yeah.
or how strong,
But just
or
take
whatever.
them to Battersea in the first place. Don't throw them out of a moving car.
Well, you know,
People
they
are
don't want.
cruel.
But Eric was, we were his 4th home in 6 months, so his behaviour wasn't the best.
Well, of course, because he was scared.
He just waved 2 paws at you.
Shame.
But that attitude meant that he was outgoing. He just loves to work. He just loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Love.
He also did, if you want to have a look at Zoe at the Audi Christmas advert, he also did the Audi Christmas advert where they're running, getting fit, and Eric's their dog that they're running with.
How amazing.
Yeah.
So we've now put these together.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
See, Jan will be wondering what we're making.
So all
Here we
you
go,
do now
Jan.
is you've done these together. These two are separate. So you can see what I mean on how easy it is to get this wrong, which is why you need to make sure that you're getting it the right way round. You're going to make 4 that look like that and 4 that look like that. And it's really important that you put them together so that you know that you're getting 4 like that and 4 like that.
Okay.
Okay, so, and putting these together, really, really simple. Because your seams are going the same way, you're going to nest them as you go, and you're just trying to hit that point on each side as you go down. If you miss it, again, give up quilting forever.
Okay, I
Please
mean,
don't,
there are
please
going to be
don't,
lots
but
of
you know what I
people,
mean,
yeah.
I'm joking.
Oh, Myra said the Audi ad is hilarious. And check out the picture of Tash in 118. Oh, did you find that one? So, yeah, my dogs also did the 118 commercial.
Oh, wow!
When they shut a couple of roads in the city of London, and right in the city, and on a weekend, so that we could.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. So
As a London resident, we love it when you do that.
I know, right? So that we could run all these dogs through the streets safely.
How
and there were
amazing.
60 of us dressed in 118 men, and to be in hair and makeup, having moustaches and everything put on at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
In those little shorts. I do not have the legs for those shorts.
Have you still got the shorts?
No, because nobody needs to see me in shorts. So the audition for it, Eric didn't even make the first cut because he just got too excited. Because I think we had 15 or 16 other dogs, possibly even more for that ad.
Wow.
And Eric just wanted to play with everybody, so that was it. He couldn't. Whereas my Spaniel and my Ridgeback, they made it. They got to go in the advert. And actually, Arthur, studio dog Arthur, who sadly passed away last year, but studio dog Arthur was the hero of the day because out of all the dogs, he was so orientated to me and because they had to come around, so they had dog handlers holding them on one street, and then they had to come around a 90-degree corner to the rest of us. But of course the dogs didn't know where they were going when they just let go of all these dogs. They didn't know which way they were going. It was a bit of a mess. But Arthur always knew where I was. He always knew where I was. There was not a more devoted dog that you will find anywhere. And so he took, bless his cottons, he took that whole pack round that corner to find me. And they used to hide me right in the middle of all the people because they wanted the dogs to merge through all the 118, 118 men.
That's amazing.
And Arthur would find me straight away. So yeah, Arthur saved that photo shoot somewhat because he was such a good boy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Baxter, our Ridgeback, she just ran and had a great time. And, you know, la 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 la. And actually, she was one of the only ones that you'd actually see. This country is quite rare
to get Ridgebacks, whereas in South Africa, they're huge, really, really good dogs.
Oh, we had 2, Jack and Baxter, and they were absolutely beautiful. My husband is obsessed with Ridgeback.
They're amazing dogs.
They are
really great
dogs.
temperaments.
It's my fault that we don't have one now because I wanted to get an Otter Hound rather than another Ridgeback and a Great Dane. He also wanted a Blue Dane.
And there we go. We're done. That simple.
Just like that.
Just like that. And these, you can see the different colourways. So this is the colourway that we've got today. I don't know what Gemma's called it. She'll figure that out.
She'll tell us.
She'll tell us. And then there's the blue colourway. And then obviously on the quilt over here, we've got the green colourway. On the wall up there.
Yeah.
You got the green colourway up there as well.
Beautiful.
So it's a really, really lovely, lovely pattern. And the great thing is this does work really, really well if you just wanted to put them as a series going all the way along. Obviously, these are going towards each other, but if you can see just on your screen there how fabulous that looks just going together. And by doing it this way, it creates a secondary pattern with that.
Amazing.
So if you wanted to, you could just go and make a whole big quilt out of that as well. And the kit for this is really, really reasonably priced as well. As a good startup trial to give it a go, if you haven't done it before, it's a really nice way of being able to do it.
Oh, it certainly is. And also you can, those sorts of things make nice borders as well.
Very good borders as well.
Really
and it's a nice
borders.
Size as well to do the border.
Yeah.
And the pattern, you've got all the details in the pattern for it there. It is block 2 of the pattern.
If you bought, so block 2 pattern is up for sale now.
But the way that I wanted it to be done is that if you did buy the kit and you did want to do it, you would make a small lap quilt out of that. You'd probably get 8 blocks, 6 to 8 blocks out of it. So it's a nice one to give a bit of a practice with, where I think the other one we got 4 blocks or maybe 8 blocks out of that one as well. I can't remember the quantities, but it's just a nice way to give it a go, and it's a nice little trial way of doing it as well. And the patterns, you've got lots of words, lots of pictures, all the way going through, and then you've got
words
the
and
diagrams.
Pictures, words and pictures.
So you've got the diagrams on how you're doing each step along the way, and you just keep going, and it's got it that way. So this is your block 2A, and that's your block 2B. So you'll see that that's mentioned as well. The only other thing to mention on here is when you're doing it, keep your selvages. I did this on the last month we did this. It's really a good idea. You don't have to, but I always find, especially if you're doing it and potentially, excuse me, tickle in the throat. If you're leaving it for a little while, what works really well is cutting off a piece of your fabric, and where is my background? And putting it down the side of your colour plan, because we've all done this before.
Yeah.
Now this only uses 4 colours, so no, that's not it. That's a Sharpie. So the colours, no, I'm not going to use that. So you know that this is my medium, that's my mid blue, that's my medium blue.
It's just creating your own...
You just create your own colour key.
Yeah.
You've got your mid blue, your bright blue, your navy, and your background colour. And I think it's always important that you've got that. And then the colours you're not going to be using will be the Kaif, the blue, and the light blue. And then when you do it, if you don't have a piece of sellotape and you want to keep it on the pattern...
Oh, genius.
It's so simple, and I cannot claim credit for this. I got this from somebody else. They did it, and I just thought, how genius is this?
Well, then you can do it in your matching thread and know what thread that you used as well.
Exactly.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, going back to dogs, Sue says, I met a rough, tough builder on holiday who specialised in refurbishing old listed
you go,
buildings.
Sue. Sorry. Sorry.
This isn't a romance, it's fine. He and his wife, had 4 Yorkshire Terriers. But his dog was taken on holiday because she couldn't cope without him.
Quite right.
It was called Nancy.
Aww.
And seeing this shirtless, tattooed builder with a handbag dog under his arm all day
I love
was
it.
just a joy.
How wonderful. So there you go. You've got your key.
Perfect.
That's your block 2.
Woohoo!
Now make sure you clean up after yourself.
Oh.
Clean as you go, the Waitrose way.
Well, you know.
The reason I say that is my dear friend Sandra, she works for Waitrose, and whenever she's doing any form of quilting, she does that. Clean as you go, the Waitrose way. It's like a staple in the studio.
I'd like to say that I do that, but you've seen the mess. However, I do insist my children do.
Quite right.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely. Just don't look in here. Susan says she's missing.
Sorry,
she's
I am
in the
going to look in
office.
here. What have you paired that Lisa grey with? That is beautiful.
Blush.
Pardon me, very, very nice. Right, girls and boys, we now have, can I take this off without it falling apart?
You may unhook from my meat hooks.
I will
Yes.
put it back on your meat hooks. So now we have got our gorgeous, gorgeous lip bag, but I think it's important to point out, you don't just have white.
Oh no. You've got like gangster
Can you
teeth on
see
there.
your little gangster teeth on that? Good old Libs Elliot, she is amazing. And you can see Becky has used this amazing thread of the colourway there. You've got this gorgeous, gorgeous hardware, also by Becky.
Yeah, I didn't realise that
Really
Becky
lovely.
does her own
She does, she's got amazing
hardware,
stuff on
which
it.
is great.
So you're going to get a fabulous little collection of that there. So it's a beautiful, she's used a red lining here. We have got so many different linings, and I have to say,
Oh, hang on. No, that's
good
no
old, oops, sorry, got the red lining here. But look at that, and then I'm just going to put that behind it. Is that
I
gonna
don't
work?
know if you. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Look at
Oh
that.
yeah.
So I think a good lining is really, really important, and you're going to need 1 metre of lining and 1 metre of your medium weight fusible interfacing. That's the only thing that's not included in the kit.
We have just taken delivery of fusible interfacing on the roll.
Fabulous. So you need 1 metre of it for here.
And you can get it in black, you can get it in white, and you can get it in firm or medium.
Perfect.
What would you like, firm
This
or
one you
medium?
need medium.
Okay, right.
And I'm only saying that because that's what Becky told me.
Okay.
And if it's wrong, it's Becky's fault.
All right, okay, that's fine.
So this is the grey. We've done a medium denim, which I think works really, really well. Loving this medium denim. And again, got a bit more of those gold teeth bits in there.
Nice.
But we've also got the light denim, and these are all kits available. So you can see it works very, very well in all 3 colourways. We took the feedback of the white bag from last time and thought we'd go with grey, a little more user-friendly with those mums out there.
It's just practical. When you have your dog, you will realise that white is beautiful until you have animals or children.
And having neither, white is everything.
Everything!
Do you know that
yeah.
all of our walls, all of our carpets, the whole house is white?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Not going to last, is it?
No. Get a dog, it'll soon change. Ooh,
So I'm going to
Elizabeth says,
show
"That's
you how we
lovely
do the
hardware."
borders and everything on there, but there is your design on that. So you're going to get the gorgeous pattern. Your paper is incredible.
Thank you.
Really, really good paper.
I just think that if people are paying for pattern, then it should be good quality, it should last, it should feel like a treat. I am a paper person.
Quite right.
I'm a card crafter as well, so I
Yeah.
do understand. I've worked in paper crafting for many years. I do understand, and I do want it
But
to
you do
feel.
it
I
does
want
feel
it to feel
amazing.
like quality. I don't want it to just rip. I want you to be able to come back and feel. The thing with me with patterns is that you are spending good money on a pattern. Now, this is for 2 reasons. Firstly, because actually if you look at the number of samples that I make and they're not right, and the amount of fabric and time and effort that goes into creating a pattern, it's one of those things. I know that some people will watch a show and then just try and make it themselves, and that's fine, if money doesn't allow. But when you support an artist with their patterns, it really does make a difference. So,
It does.
you know, that time and that effort and that energy and the cost of the cameras and the studio time and the everything else that has to go into that, and the loading of, you know, the staff
But the
costs and
sample
everything
making
else.
alone,
The sample making alone, it all adds up. And someone said to me, well, how come it costs the same to have a printed one as a downloadable? And I said, because the time and the effort and the samples and everything else, actually the printing of it is the least of it. It's everything else that goes into it. And I feel quite passionately about that. And I do feel that people, especially artists and designers, should be paid properly for the work that they do.
Well, you see, that was, I got it, you remember I did that crafting show on Channel 5?
Oh, vaguely.
So I did that, and one of the quilts that we were selling, they said it was £2,000, when it wasn't, it was 800. But I got so much stick for that because everybody was saying, oh, the cheek of him, how dare he, that's, you know, how can you ask that much? And I'm thinking, well, if you sit down and work out, firstly, I had all these amazing women doing the quilt for me, but the hours that they spent doing it, and they all got paid, and you think of it, it cost £1,400–1,500 to do it, and then you don't see the time to get to the craft fair to do it. So it's £2,000 for a quilt is actually not that unrealistic when it's that complicated.
And especially if you factor in the time, and this is it, people should be rewarded for their time, and for there is no other. The arts is a strange industry for not feeling like people should be rewarded for their time. You're not necessarily even just paying for, sorry to say, but
it's true.
But you're not necessarily even paying for the time that it takes to make that quilt. In this case, you are, but you're also paying for the education, for the hours spent learning, and all of that.
And the video goes with it as well. There's the time for the video and everything. It's a lot.
So that's all the stuff that people don't necessarily see. And I think that every single person who has made stuff will have had someone at some point say, can you make that for me? Or can you fix that for me? And then expect it to be done for peanuts. And that's not okay.
Or free.
Yeah.
It is okay, but you just need to recognise that it's when people do charge for it, they value their time, and you know, people are trying to put food on the table wherever you go.
And that's, you know, that's okay too. But I just think you wouldn't ask a plumber to come and repair your sink for free. So if you want your trousers taking up or repairing, why should that be for free?
Quite right.
Anyway, off my soapbox, and let's carry on.
So the only note to mention to you when you get this pattern is the lick on the front is in a dark grey, but when I put the dark grey on the picture there, there, it didn't come out, so I've had to lighten the grey there, only because you wouldn't have seen the lines.
It's
but
a
I have
representation.
Well, I've put a note on it there saying I've lightened the grey, so just if you do miss that bit, I've only lightened the grey because you can then see the lines on it. So the first thing you're going to do when you get this is you're going to find the paper scissors, and you're going to get your FPP blocks like this. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure from the top of number A over here, top corner there, to the bottom, and you're going to check that that is 8.5 inches. It is very, very, very important that you measure these first.
Have I printed it off right?
No, you're absolutely perfect.
Okay, that's right.
Absolutely perfect. But it doesn't matter whether you're doing this as a downloadable, it doesn't matter whether you're doing it as a non-downloadable, whatever you get, it's absolutely fine. And whatever size it comes out at is absolutely fine. You just need to bear in mind that size when you make your flap cover, because the flap cover, the size of that is mentioned in the bag, so you need to make sure that the flap cover covers that. So if this comes in at, say, 7.5, you know it's going to be 7 inches finished, then you're going to add a slightly larger border on it to get it to the size that Becky needs it to be for the flap of the bag. So that's the only thing that I would suggest on this. The other thing to remember as well, I forgot to show you this beforehand, and this is where Natasha said this and giggled at the same time, so I'll try and say it without giggling, is if you do want to have nothing on the outside of your flap and you'd rather have your lick on the inside of your flap, oh my God, I said it without blushing, you can put that there as well. So there are ways of doing it. You can have a double lick if you like.
I mean,
it's entirely up to you, and there is enough fabric for you to make 2 licks if you'd like. But yeah, we'll leave that there.
Now,
and I got through that
Elizabeth
without blushing. Hi, Elizabeth.
Firstly, she says that the hardware is beautiful, yes.
Is it gorgeous?
Secondly, she said this is a big personality bag.
It is.
It is. I mean, you only have to look at the inventors of the bag to know this. And so I think having it so that if I love the idea of opening it up and it just being like, ha ha,
Yep.
That for me is just...
Because if you did put it on the inside and you were somewhere more conservative, you wouldn't go, ha! You just go like, hello, I think my purse out. You can hide it if you want to. So that's the good thing about it, is you can put it on the front and the back.
But I love something a bit cheeky.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I must say, even Andrew's looked at it and says, oh, I'd have that bag. And it's a good size. It's a really good size.
Well, you can fit a folder and
Exactly.
your laptop and whatever else in there.
And as a new thing, sorry Tash, I didn't tell you this earlier, we're not selling classes for this. We're going to do a free sew along. Gemma is organising a little code that'll go on the inside of your pattern when you buy it. And you can join us then to do the free sew along with that. It will start on the 29th of May, which is a Saturday. It'll be released on RJAF Makes YouTube as well as on Tasha's thing, and go from there. It'll be a nice little sew along to do for free. No charge on it. All you have to do is you have to have bought the pattern from Natasha, and the code will be on the inside of your pattern. Please don't share the pattern code.
Yeah, Pam says, no, Natasha, the phrase is, oh, you sew, can you just? And the answer is no, Pam. The answer is no, I can't. Gerasine said, oh, my Liberty Pass from Natasha's just arrived and it's beautiful. And I love the surprise included. Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure. Yeah, Norma says, I keep telling my husband I don't do alterations or repairs just because I sew. But he doesn't listen. Yeah, well, Myra, she's just listened and said ditto. But Myra's husband gets her to do like rug repairs for the horses. Now, Myra, in that case, all I would say to you is that I think you've got a good case for getting a mini beast, Dukey, because, you know, you're going to need something to go through that rug fabric, because that non-tear fabric, you know. And Claire said, I never heard back from a lady who wanted her waistband reduced on 2 skirts. That means taking it off at the points, it needs reducing, and stitching back in place, 2 hours plus of work. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. Mm. And Myra, bless her, says, admire anyone who can produce a pattern and don't mind paying for that talent. Yeah. Margaret says you could put the lick on the front of the back and the magnet will look like a tongue stud.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, all options
there.
there.
Very good idea. That's not a paper bag. Oh, I need to put that onto Gemma's Louis.
Nettie says, I so love the double lick idea. I think I will do that. You do that.
But stick a tongue ring in. That could be quite funny, actually. I like that. Well, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Nettie.
Amazing, amazing. And Elizabeth just said, a woman once said to me she wanted a £300 coat altered. Collar, zips replaced, new pocket. She didn't want to pay more than 20 quid. I replied, oh, that's fine. I can teach you how to do it myself for that amount. Perfect. How's Sunday? She said, I didn't see the coat again. Funny that, isn't it? It's true. And I think we all have stories surrounding that. So
I had a man in my building, because obviously...
Did Andrew know?
Men, no, God no. God no, definitely not, no. He came in and he's like, I need a zip done. I said, that's nice, the tailor's over there. Oh no, she's going to charge me money. I said, well, I've never changed a zip in my entire life, so have you got some masking tape? Apparently I'm rude. Who knew?
I like to think direct and
subtle.
To the point.
Yep.
Nettie's wondering if it's bling.
Yep, good bling. Good. Oh, Swarovski crystals. Ooh. You've got some Swarovski crystals on there.
Or some of those rind, you know what, the lot like
bedazzle
rinds.
them.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, yeah.
Becky, we're going to have to work bedazzling out into this whole equation. So that's for that one. All I'm doing now is I'm getting rough sizes of pieces of fabric that will work on here. Cut your pieces bigger than you think you need. I need to refer to my pattern to double check I've got the right colours here.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Perfect. And then B2 is red as well. Nope, not big enough.
Decisions. What are you looking for?
I'm going to just... Oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for. because when I do FPP, I like to line everything up. So I cut my pieces and get them all ready to stitch on. If you are going to get yourself a denim kit, please just make sure you recognize which side is the front and which side is the back on your denim. I would tell you how I know, but I think you can figure that out on your own.
Becky says bedazzled is Christmas. She says diva, but I don't know who she's referring to there.
Me, obviously. Obs, like hello.
Obs.
Have we met?
Well, I didn't like to say, you know. Didn't like to say.
I'm really looking forward to when Lisa comes. I think that's going to be good fun.
Oh, she says, are we behaving?
Lisa's?
But, yeah.
No.
But again, has she met us?
Like she behaves.
I've just done an interview with Lisa.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. To go out Maybank holiday.
Oh, divine.
Josh
Isn't
has
she
got
fabulous?
to. She is fabulous, and I don't know if Lisa's still watching because I've got to.
It's in the middle of the night. Sorry to interrupt. So all I'm doing is I'm putting my C1 is my background colour, and C2 is my red.
Do you want to put it in front of the machine?
Of course. So my C1 is my background colour. So whether that be your light denim or dark denim or grey, that's going to be your background colour. And my C2 is red. So all I'm doing is I'm making sure I've got more than enough fabric to do that. Making sure I take my stitch length down to 1.5, and I'm moving my needle into the middle of my machine because it's just easier.
This means that it's acting almost like a perforation. You know when you get the
Correct.
tear here situation, that's what you're doing by bringing that stitch length down. Tracy's got to go and get some sleep. Great
Is that Tracy
show.
on it?
And yeah, and I
Hi,
love
Tracy.
the banter. Loves a bit of banter.
She's from Quebec in Canada.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. She says for the best start to my day.
You are so welcome. Now, when I do my FPP, if I'm using this machine, I've always got threads. So all I do is I pull my threads up. Everything that I'm keeping goes to the bottom of the page. So you can see at the bottom of the fabric there. And then I just put my ruler on. Everything I'm keeping goes underneath my ruler, and everything I'm not keeping, including my little random threads, I just chop off like that. And then you just throw them on Natasha's floor over there.
It always looks like that. We know. Did we ever tell everyone about the story about you and Gemma's bag?
No. Should we get Gemma to tell that story, because it's actually quite mortifying?
She doesn't have a mic.
So what I will do, I will tell you now. Gemma has got one of the most gorgeous bucket Louis Vuitton bags. It's beautiful. And when I came in the first time...
Well, we should give the background that it took her 20 years to save up for this bag, and she's very proud of it.
It's stunning. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when I came the first time, the bin, the bin to throw pieces of paper in, was right next to Gemma's desk. So I had a bit of handful of paper and bits and bobs, went over, dropped it down, but as I dropped it, I looked and thought, that's not a bin. And it was Gemma's very expensive Louis Vuitton bag. Thank God it wasn't a coffee or anything. But anyway, so I've now never lived it down that I threw stuff away.
She might have mentioned it to you, but at least
once or twice a week.
3 times a week. Yeah. A week.
But I was mortified. So I went in today and had my coffee cup and hovered around her desk. She says, "Don't even think about it." But to be fair, your bin was there. She's not agreeing with that at all. Staying right out of it.
Carol said, my friend commented recently that I have yet to make her a quilt, and I must be at least able to make her one. My response was, when I have a couple of £100 spare, I might consider it. It stunned her to silence. Good show. Yeah, I think people don't realise. Inga's mum always says, it's at least £100 for a quilt.
How much?
At least £100.
My God, a lot more than that.
But for the fabric.
She's not shopping at my shop.
But just for the outer fabric.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
that's just the outer fabric. Then you got to quilt it. Then you got backing and the wadding and. Anyway.
Yeah, PT says that I think I'd have cried if you'd thrown coffee in her.
Oh no, I would have bought you a new one. I would have. I would never have recovered.
She would never have let you recover, let me tell you.
But she'd have taken the new one, I'm sure. But I can assure you I've never thrown anything in a bin since then without double checking.
It was funny. And she did leave it open and where the bin should be.
It was where the bin was, wasn't
where
it?
the bin should
Just
be,
for proof that I'm not losing my mind. The bin was there the last time I came in. So B1 and 2 and C1 and 2 are exactly the same. They're just in a slightly different angle. Ooh. And again, everything you're keeping, you fold to the bottom and then you get rid of the top here.
Oh, Julia's got to go. She's lunch in Mum's garden for her birthday.
Whoop, whoop. Happy
I've
birthday,
got the
Mum.
cake. Siblings waiting. Catch up later. You cannot be late with the cake.
No. My darling Sylvia, it was her birthday yesterday. And we got to take her for a little piece of cake in an outdoor garden as well.
Amazing. So the reason that my daughter ended up with a 3-foot unicorn inflatable balloon.
See, the thing is that I just assumed your daughter always had a 3-foot inflatable unicorn balloon.
She would like that to be like her go-to accessory. However, what happened was we had to go and get, both my children have managed to grow out of their entire wardrobes in one go. Like, right. So we had to venture out to shops yesterday to replace said wardrobes. And yeah, and the Works was shutting down, had a closing down sale.
Which one? Where?
At the Genting Arena at the NEC.
I'm going to be late home, Andrew.
Just so that you know. But they had, Emily keeps thinking it's her birthday. Every day she wakes up and she thinks it's her birthday and tells me that, and we went to a park in Warwick the other day and there was the, like the merry-go-rounds and stuff like that. They've got like a little fairground there that's permanently there.
No, it's for her.
And, well, this is it. So she
Quite
said,
right.
oh, Mummy, it's my birthday party. It's my birthday party. So ever since then, it's always been her birthday or her birthday party or
Oh my God, I
her
love
birthday balloon. And so, of course, she sees these balloons in the shop. And it's, Mummy, it's my birthday balloon. So,
And the thing is, if she says that and you don't buy it for her, you're evil.
Right.
Because it's your little one's birthday.
what I suddenly realised, of course, that it's the best thing I could have bought, because then this little 2-year-old that's trying to totter around everywhere is sort of pinned by this large balloon.
And you can always see her.
And I can see her in the shops.
Quite right.
Because
That's what I
there's-
do with Andrew.
We're buying a big balloon.
Big balloon in his arm. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. And it was just the easiest way to then find her down
Exactly.
any kind
Any
of
aisle,
because
anywhere.
she's not letting go of that balloon.
Not in the, and nothing will
Nope.
get around.
Nope. No.
So now we've got
Go
B
on.
and C. We're now going to put those two together because you need to have. Oh, you're going there. Sorry.
No,
B
we're
and
not.
C
I just
there.
pressed the wrong button. Sorry. Go on. There
right.
we go.
We've got B and C, so they're going to go together in order for them to go together on the
So
A.
do you just flip them right sides
So
together?
literally
and-
all you do is right sides together. You will notice that there are some marcations here where you're going to line this up there and you're going to line it up there. And over here, it's supposed to line up, but it doesn't quite. But the important thing is to fold this forward over here and check that you're going to hit that mark together.
Right.
Now, I don't usually use pins in FPP, but if you are going to use a pin, the important thing to remember when you're doing it is you're going to put the pin where the join is over here. And you're going to put the pin in like that, where the join of the two lines go. That'll come out over here if you pressed it properly and you haven't gone wobbly.
Oh, here we go.
There we go. So you come through right on the edge over there. You can just see that that's come through there. And then what you're going to do is on this side, you're going to put the pin through on this side, coming through where those 2 points meet as well. Sorry, there's no way of doing it. There we go.
No,
So you can see that those two come together there.
spin it just around a little bit.
There you go. So you can see the pins just come out right in the middle.
Perfect.
Now that's the important thing. So that's the easy bit. All you do now is you rotate these two pieces of paper together. You line up the top, you line up the side, line up the top, line up the side. This needs to be horizontal with the table, because if you've got it like that, you've already missed your point. So if you hold that up like that, and then once you've got that together and it's all horizontal and lined up, you pin that within an inch of its life that it's not going to move, and you tip that down and you fold the paper forward and you just stab it through. Now, I've done that backwards, back to front, and upside down, so I'm going to do this again correctly while I'm looking at it.
Oh, do
just
it.
to make sure I get it.
Elizabeth says, what a lovely idea to have in one's head that it's a birthday every day.
I love that idea.
It makes...
When's your birthday?
Huh?
When's your birthday?
You can't imagine what star sign I am, can you?
No idea.
I'm a Leo.
Oh, that's around Festival of Quilts time.
Yeah, 15th of August I am.
Okay.
I am a Leo. You know, shy and retiring, clearly, and...
I think just all round fabulous. We'll go with that.
I'll go with that. Creative, all of those things. I'm glad it's not my only one. That it's not just my little one. Claire says that her Adam says it's his birthday every other day. I mean, by now she's about 108.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. Sue says, my brother thought it would be charming if my 4-year-old daughter would serve the ladies who'd come over for afternoon tea, much against my protests. I watched with horror as a slice of squidgy cake and cream.
That's what you're looking for.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So that's what you're looking for, is that you've hit that point perfectly. And when you do press it, I do, as a habit, when I press seams together on FPP, I do try and press them open, only because you will end up with a bulk of fabric at some point that's going to cause you a problem. So just press it open as much as you can.
Whilst you're pressing that over,
Puppy dog.
poor old Sue watched
Hi,
in
Sue.
horror as the slice of squidgy cake and cream slid onto his antique Persian rug that was worth more than my house, she said.
Oh my
He
God.
just laughed himself silly and said that it was worth it.
Love it.
Beautiful thing. Yeah, that's, I think, yeah.
You've actually just pointed a problem out to me.
What?
I've got all our Persians in my studio, and when we move house, I have to have the Persians in the new house rather than in my studio.
Is that a bad thing?
That's a Joe problem. No, because I've got to move everything off my rugs in the studio to go and put them in the new house when we move. It's a Joe problem. She'll sort it out.
Oh, that you, I love that you have people for problems. I've got a person for that.
I love it, Joe. Joe's sitting looking at this and going, huh?
What? What? When did that become my problem?
I love them to bits then. Now, when you are doing your A block and you've got your big piece, I always have a large piece of fabric at some point. Stick a pin in it because then it won't move. It's just easier. It makes your life easier. And always cut your piece of fabric bigger than you need, because if you don't, then it's always the one that is going to be the problem.
Uh-oh.
And there we go. You do that. You fold it over. Check you've got enough. Remember, you've got seams you've got to cater for as well. And that's not quite going to cut it. So we just cut another piece of fabric.
There we go.
There we go. That's perfect.
Oh, Leslie says that her birthday is the 15th of August as well. Same as the Princess Royal, just different
lovely,
years.
darling.
I mean, I like to be in good company for all these things.
I do like Princess Anne. Oh. Top tip, if you're having a problem with your thread cutter on your machine, take one of these lovely scalpels, because 9 times out of 10, you've got a little bit of schmutz on it.
Hang on, close up of the, what do you call it?
The scalpel.
No, the
schmutz.
The fluff.
Schmutz caught in my thread
Yeah,
cutter.
you did, didn't you? My goodness.
You can tell this machine's been in my YouTube area for the last 3 months and not been looked at.
Oh, Jess has just realised that you're 10 minutes down the road from her sister.
Oh, right.
Did not realise there was a fabric shop so close to her. Yeah, but you've got to book your slot, Jess.
Yep.
Oh, Helen said also my birthday on the 15th of August. 6 years after the Princess Royal.
Good day.
Good company here. It's a good cake day. My husband's birthday is the 13th of August and mine is the 16th, says Terry.
Oh, wow. One of my friends from school, him and his husband share a birthday. They have the birthday on the same day. Well, it's good competition, because if your husband stuffs it up, they can't fix it. They can't fix it because it's done.
So, my husband and I shared a birthday party.
Right.
We
When's he?
Well, he's March. Him and Studio Dog Arthur shared a birthday. And so yeah, theirs was March the 20th.
Right.
But in the year that he turned 50 and I turned 40, we had a 90th birthday party.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, my husband's best friend is 7 or 8 days older than he is.
Right.
And they're both 50 in January. So maybe we do a 100th birthday for the pair of them.
Would be perfect. I think if you can do a centenary,
Yeah.
that would be...
That would be really good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll be in a new house by then.
Oh, you're going to throw the party?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it'll be catered and someone else will do it all.
Ah, Elizabeth said her agent's just called saying that the funds have been forwarded since selling in November. Delighted
Ours
and
took
sad.
27 weeks.
Oh,
Congratulations. Well done.
Well done.
The whole process at the moment is horrid.
The trouble is everyone's taking advantage of the
Stamp duty
stamp
holiday.
duty holiday, yeah.
But also some people are just taking advantage because they know that there's nothing on the market and they think their house is worth a lot more than perhaps it once was.
Things are selling like hotcakes,
They
aren't they?
really
out there?
are. They really, really are. Right, how
What
big
are
a
you
piece do
looking
I
for
need then?
now?
So now I need a little bit of background piece. So there was much debate whether this should be the same colour as the background, where the mouth was. There's much debate about that.
Oh, whether
so
it should be like
like
darker
a black or something like that. So you do it how you like. I'm going to, just for this piece, only because I can't find a piece big enough of that and I'm not going to cut any more, I'm going to do it in the grey so you can then decide for your... Oh, no, I've done that wrong.
Oh, Jess says, talking of weird, my husband and ex-fiance share a birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Clearly I have a type.
Clearly.
I am supposed to be working. Jess is fine. We're just
You
considering
are working.
background noise. Or we could be R&D, research and development. It's my newfound
Exactly.
favourite thing.
I do love this unpicker.
It just
You see, no, it's because my stitches are too small. See, I love the Jenny Raymond way of unpicking, is that you turn it round and you undo every third stitch on the back, and then it just pulls apart.
yeah, but like you say, when your stitches are that small.
Yeah, you can't do it on this one,
No.
even with this gorgeous blade.
But that's why you need a little sharp
Exactly.
chap like that.
And this is so much easier than my old clever one for that.
I have that same clover one.
They're
and-
really good, that one,
yeah.
before this one.
And I have to say, I was with you. That was one of my favourite
It
ones.
was.
I also like the ones with the one that looks like a rubbery beehive on top.
Yes, I like that one as well.
Because I love that. I love the beehivey bit on top because
Yep.
you can pull out all your
See, I don't,
stitchy bits on
as
top.
long as it pulls and it's sharp and it gets rid of my stitches, that's all I care about. Because we all know the ones that you've paid 99p for, 9 times out of 10, if you can get 3 stitches out of it, you're lucky.
Yeah.
And how many of those have you bought? And before you know it, you've actually bought a really expensive one that's always going to work. So this is a slight alteration to the pattern, and I've just realised having done that. Okay, half is half, so yeah.
What's the matter?
Just realised the other half of the mouth. I've done that the right colour. So you can then decide. Because I've
Have you
done
just done
grey
it-
on this one. Which is a bit silly. Which is a bit silly. But there we go.
Well, you know, you have an unpicker if you
Give it
want
a
one.
go.
We can compare and contrast, right?
Exactly. Right, next. That is going there.
Oh, do you know what? Every time I switch the camera.
Oh, sorry, and I'm moving
No, it's okay.
I just assume you'll find me
I
eventually.
will find you. There you are. Stitching away. Now, I haven't watched The Great British Sewing Bee this week. Is it worth watching?
I haven't watched this one either. I have been too busy, but the first episode was hysterical. It was very, very good. Did you see the parody video I posted?
Oh, do you know what? I haven't actually had a chance
Oh my
to
God,
watch
the
it.
parody is
Is it
so
good?
funny. I don't know who made it, but they've done a really terribly, I want to say accurate, but deeply funny parody of the people that are usually on the show. It's a very good, I just adore that show.
I'm glad they managed to do it. I mean, that's dedication, isn't it? Because they all left their families and
For 2
moved
weeks,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be awful if you were kicked out the first week.
Well, you know.
But you've tried, exactly.
You've given it a go.
Somebody jokingly said, "Oh, John, you should go on it." And I'm like, "What the heck? I've never made an item of clothing in my life. I've done one zip. How on earth?" And they were like, "Oh, you'd be so funny." Oh, thankfully, well, I don't know, thankfully or not, but I can't because you, if you make your living from sewing in any way, you can't take part.
You can't do it. You are no longer. Yeah, you're considered a professional.
Considered professional.
John,
have we
always
met?
Professional.
Have we met?
Now, Karen says, on the theme of birthdays, my birthday is 2 days before the Queen's official birthday. When I was little, we had a street party for the Queen's Jubilee. I thought it was for me.
It was for you.
It was for you.
It was for you. Oh,
It was
I love
for
that.
you.
It is Andrew's granny's 99th birthday tomorrow. 99.
It's who, sorry?
Andrew's granny.
Wow, that's
99
a good age.
tomorrow. She's fabulous.
That is a good age.
She
Such
is
a good
so
age.
funny though. So when I used to be on the other channel, she would phone me after a show and she'd go, "Hello, darling, how are you?" I'm so fine, sweetheart, how are you? She says, "Oh, weren't you good today? You look so good." "Oh, very fat though, but really you were so good." I love
Amazing.
it to bits.
Thank you. Thank you for that brutal honesty.
Oh no, she's a sweetheart.
And there it is.
Imagine getting to 99 and still living in your own home and she's still got all her faculties with her.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Just brilliant.
Just wish we could go and see her because we didn't see her for 98 either.
Oh, wow. Is she very far?
In Glasgow.
Oh, she's up there.
Nicola won't let us in. Quite
Oh,
right.
yeah, no,
Quite right.
absolutely. Absolutely.
We will go when we can go.
We have, well, I have a very old friend in Wales, and he doesn't. I try and write to him at least once a week, or Freddie will draw him a picture or something because he's in his 90s and he doesn't hear, so I can't phone to check up on him. He doesn't do the internet. He doesn't do email. So it is snail mail.
It's very debilitating.
And I haven't seen him since, oh gosh, the weekend before I launched Natasha Makes.
Wow.
So that was the first week in January last year. That was the last time that I saw him because he wrote me a letter saying that his health wasn't good. And the next day I jumped in the car and I went because, you know, you can't not, can you? You've got to check people are okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I haven't seen him since.
Hard.
But because Wales has been shut, and like you say, you know,
Course you
rightly
can't.
so.
You can't.
You know.
And you've got to listen to the rules and everything. And I just, at the minute, you know, the last time we had everything being eased and relaxed, you know, you've just got to go to a shopping centre and look how many millions of people there are. And it feels like everybody's obviously, we're all trying to get out and do stuff. But I do worry that if we don't start taking it easy until everything calms down, we're going to be right back where we were before.
No, yeah. Oh, Elizabeth said, I used my hairdressing razor for years till I found how to unravel jean stitches. Love your bundle of sharps. They are a good old bundle.
They really are a good bundle.
Oh, Laurie says that the postman's just delivered a lovely parcel, quilted cork, rainbow tassel and clip, Lisa bag handle, etc. So pleased.
Where'd that come
Thanks to
from, I
all
wonder?
involved. I can't imagine where that might have come from.
I have to say, your quilted cork fabric, my goodness, it's beautiful.
It's good, isn't it?
It's really good.
Oh, yeah.
And all I'm doing now is I'm just stitching on the various colours, increasing from A1 to A8, just to finish this block. And don't forget, our sew along will start on the 29th of May. So you'll have little tutorial videos on how to do each and every step as we go. Only one more seam to go on this.
Oh, there you go. Francis says you can travel to Scotland from today.
Problem is work commitments on our side as well, which is a little bit of a, because if we'd, I think that only happened a couple of days ago.
No, from today.
No, I meant it was announced that it was a couple of days
okay.
ago. But yeah, we're trying to. It's just very, and the thing is as well, we don't want to. We want to make sure that we're not going anywhere for 2 weeks beforehand either, because at that age, the last thing you need is to get somebody ill. It's very hard. But she's got a special delivery of all the goodies going in today.
Jess says that she had a friend once try and get her to teach her child to So regular, proper lessons. She said, so I suggested that whilst I was teaching them, she could do my garden, as you love gardening.
How brilliant!
Didn't teach her child. Yeah. It is a funny one, isn't it? You see, I used to teach maths.
Oh, right.
I was a maths teacher for many years. Not that you would ever know it if you try and put me under pressure to do any kind of maths on air. I just freeze. I can't do it under pressure. But and also because I haven't taught it now for so long, it is like a muscle. You kind of get out of it. But it was, you know, no one ever. I know. Actually, do you want to chuck it here because
oh my God, that's so good. Sorry.
It's a micro cloth.
That's amazing.
For your glasses, your iPads,
Sorry,
and everything
this
else.
is the thing. When you come and do this, you see little things lying around.
They should be here on Thursday. They're being posted today.
Ooh.
You know, just saying. Yeah, but you know, nobody would ever think of asking me to tutor maths and not pay. And I did used to home tutor maths.
Exactly.
You know, not just that no one would ever think of asking me to home tutor. Was the point I was making.
And then all you're doing next is you're trimming this down. And because you've now done all that work getting everything nice and neatly stitched. Oh.
So the tutorials that you are going to be doing with this bag, are they for the foundation paper piecing? Are they going to be for the whole thing?
All of it. So I'm going to do the FPP to start with, which will be on the 29th of May, and that'll be released on RJF Makes. And then from there, Becky will be doing her section of it, doing the inner, the outer bag, putting it all together, the handles, everything. Because we thought that would be a nice way of being able to, for people to be involved, because we didn't want people to be put off. You know, if you've never made a bag and you were keen to, you know, you've got the kit then and it's all ready to go. So now the B and C block that we put together, all you're going to do is you're going to stitch these together there. The points that you're looking to meet are that one and that one. It doesn't matter about this one at all. It's just that little lip there. And the reason that's important is, can you tell over there? Oh, good, you can't. But there's a tiny little bit there where you're off and no one's going to care.
Can we pop those two together, actually,
Of course.
just to show the difference with the darker in a bit?
I think I prefer the darker.
Oh, I don't know.
Hello. You brought your Louis for me?
The bin's nearly full.
My desk away from me. With regard to the class that you'll be running,
Yes.
The free class, us issuing a code, SJ and I have been trying to work out the best way.
I've actually just realised we don't need it, because if you don't need if you bought the whether you bought the pattern or not, you don't need a code. As I said that, I thought that makes no sense.
When Becky sets up the class, presumably it'll be a privately hosted class, there should be a code.
It's a pre-recorded video on her YouTube. It's a pre-recorded on her YouTube, so we don't need a code.
So if it's all pre-recorded on YouTube, then that's great. And
Sorry.
we get sent a link, then SJ says she can email out to everyone who's purchased the pattern.
I don't know if you guys can hear all of this. So basically, you won't get a code, you'll get a link to
Thank you.
the... Gemma and SJ have been trying to work out how to do this, and actually, because it's already recorded, you will get
It's available for everybody.
You will get that for you. There we go. So
And
we'll
it'll be
send
on
you the
Natasha's
link.
website to buy as well, so get it on there.
There we go.
Sorry,
Perfect.
that was my mistake.
Perfect. That's all right. We just need so
So what do you think,
clear,
dark or light?
You see, until you said dark, I thought light,
But it does work.
and now I quite like.
But you see, the good
dark.
thing is you literally only need about a 6-inch by 5-inch piece of a 6-inch square would get that into you of any colour. But we've kitted it that it's like that.
I love it.
I don't think there's a right or wrong.
You see, and it is divided on the Book of Faces. Karen says darker, Becky says lighter. Becky also says it should do that for us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can see there the lighter and the darker. It's really.
Zoe says her 10-year-old daughter has just done your Zoom classes.
I know,
she says
Ava.
He's fabulous
Oh,
in
you're very
Shout
kind.
Capitals.
Very, very kind.
And Laurie says that the quilted cork is brilliant to sew with.
Isn't it amazing?
Really is. It really is. It is a dream. It does just
glow.
yeah.
So all you're doing now is you're lining this up here, along there. You're making sure it's lined up there, and this point here is what you're looking to line up the most importantly.
Is that the twiddly twiddly thing with
This
your
is the
pin
bit
again?
over here. So I'm going to do my little twiddly biddly thing here where I'm pushing the pin where the join is there and tipping this upside down.
Ah, Karen says, thinking of going to Scotland for a few days as restrictions are relaxed from today. I think most of my family will be having a cheeky wheat ram
Nothing
today
wrong
too,
with
as the
that.
pubs are open. I did think of you last night as I had drunk the last of my Pinkster gin. It's my favourite.
Is Pinkster your favourite?
Yeah, yeah.
Good to know.
I do like it, and you can't. I generally find it at like country fairs and things. So I've been eking this bottle out for a while because obviously there haven't been like game fairs and stuff to go and support and shop at.
Because see, I do love those little independent gins that you can get like that.
I'm still reeling from your 90-something bottles of gin.
It's more.
Oh, have you had a final
We've
count?
recounted, yeah.
And
130.
oh,
I know, it's obscene.
yeah, but they're not empty ones, are
No,
they?
no, no. Well,
Yeah.
when we move, they're going to have to be. So.
No.
But the thing is, and I know when you say things like that, people like alcoholic, get a hospital, go to rehab. But we have 1, maybe 2 gin and tonics a night at a push. We're very responsible, and it's just, there are so few vices in this world these days.
The thing is, like you say, it's not like you're doing a bottle a night or anything like that at all. And Heidi says, I just got my head around FPP last week and I love it.
Is that Heidi Exton?
Yeah.
Oh, she did our class. She was amazing.
I think it is one of those things that once you get your head around it,
Oh my God! Once it clicks, that's what you want.
Now you see, Claire says, I think the darkened mouth, it's more realistic because
Yep.
I'm not sure that we're going for realism with this.
But the thing is it literally does not matter which way you do it. It's entirely up to you. It's just one of those things, and it's like on the blocks that I did last month. I switched out the pink colour in the corner. It's the good thing is that you've got to tweak it the way that it works for you. And once you've got these two together.
Do you want that would it be easier on the desk?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm there.
Once you've got those two together, you're then just lining these points up, and this is where you will take your time to line everything up and get it going, and you just put them together. I'm not going to join these because I am going to make one more of each of them, but I think it's just important to have shown you options. Because with the darker bag, with the grey that we've got up here, and with the medium denim, I don't actually think it would matter if you use the dark. The only reason I suggested it on this one is because it's so light, it may be a little more realistic having the dark there. But it is entirely up to you how you do it. Once you've done these and you've put them together, you will see on the medium, I have put these together. These are much taller than they need to be, and the reason being was that you can then go and you can trim this down to be the size that it says in the pattern. So the flap section is mentioned at the beginning of the pattern and on the bottom of page 6 how big it needs to be. So this way then, if your FPP is slightly smaller, which it comes out, it is not a problem at all. I've just added 2.5-inch borders on here, and you can trim them down when you need them.
Perfect. So
And there
you
we
have
go.
got all of that support, because obviously these bags and things, they take a while to do.
They do.
But when you're buying the bag, it's not it's not just the bag that you're buying. You're buying the expertise of 2 incredible people. Just for clarification, that's you and Becky.
I thought it was you and Becky.
I'm not involved. I just sit here pushing buttons on these. So it's one of those things that is what you're getting. And the number of people that say, oh, I did one of your classes, now I get FPP. How much would you actually spend on a workshop? The price of your bag would actually be what you would
Exactly.
spend on a workshop.
And that's why the thing is a lot of people did buy the class last time around. Thank you for that. And we wanted to make sure that we don't want you to feel obliged to pay for classes each time. We're not going to be able to do a free sew along every time, but it's a case of next time we can. This time we can. So, and it's a nice, easy pattern. And even if you don't use it to make a bag, you can just make that onto a T-shirt and just go every time you see somebody. It's just easy. And I love it. Every time I do a live feed, you just go like that and it looks like someone's licking you. Sorry. It's true.
You are a little obsessed.
I know it's
Are you going to keep one of those then to hand for your Facebook Lives?
Maybe. Maybe.
Are you blushing, John?
I love it.
Oh, it's good fun. Do you know what? It's one of those
It's
things.
one of those
It's a
things
bit
you've
of
gotta
harmless
laugh.
fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
is, every single time you use the bag, you're going to laugh.
Yeah.
And every time somebody sees it, they're going to go, what on earth is that? And it's
Yeah.
glorious.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at all your stripes on the thing there and the linings with those stripes. Because this fabric is Lisa Chandler again, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look how that would work well with the as a lining.
It pulls
for
out the
that.
red, doesn't it?
It just
Yeah.
pulls the red out beautifully. And you've got that gold one as well, which you've used on a lining of another bag. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
gorgeous. It's this one here.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm bringing another bag in.
No, do it.
Because your linings are so important. You just got to be happy. Look at that as a gold stripe on that. These are on your website, aren't they?
Do you know what? I was about to put up. These will all be kitted again, ready for Lisa's show on Bank Holiday Monday. I will have full kits for these
Perfect.
up and ready to go. And all. Now, normally with bag kits, I do the fabric and put all that together, but I
Yep.
don't do the lining, the interfacing, because I think
Okay.
that is often personal choice, and especially for a bag that size. With that one, Gemma and I were discussing this over the weekend, and we were like, actually, do you know what? I think that using a insulated wadding for that to make it like a freezer bag, so you can get your freezer
That would be
shopping in.
amazing.
Yeah, or or a picnic bag or something like that. So that's why I don't, because the interfacing can be, it can add a few pounds
can.
onto the cost of a kit. So it's got to be right.
Well, in our
for
form is what,
you.
£19 for a metre, 18 inches of in our form.
Absolutely. We use, we've got that on the website thanks to you managing to source it for us. We use Styleville Fix, which
Yep.
we love as well. So whatever your preference.
You can then do it accordingly.
Yeah, someone was asking about the in our
I'm
form.
just wondering,
and the
this as a
Styleville.
shopping bag would be hysterical.
Brilliant. It would be hilarious.
But then using a different interfacing would work well for that.
Yeah.
Sorry I'm doing this now, but what it is that when you travel with anything, this is starting to fray. So if you are going to do this and leave it to one side, all I'm doing is stitching about 1/8 of an inch in, so that if your fabric does start to fray, it'll stop at that stitch line.
Right.
Sorry, that was why I'm not being rude and ignoring you. It was just a case of, I think that's because a lot of us start a project and then leave it. So all of us are guilty of
horror.
that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Myra said, really enjoyed today. Great
Oh,
start to
good.
the
It was
week.
lovely to
Thank
have you.
It's really lovely to have everybody support us. Yeah. He's just a little bit bonkers.
Who, me?
Yeah, apparently.
Yep, that's fine.
Becky says crazy more like.
I'm happy with that. I can live with that. I've been called a lot worse. All is true. I acted accordingly.
It's so good. It's so good. Ah. John, thank you. Now, the next time that you are back, would you like to tell us which blocks it will be?
I can,
and
if I can
what
remember.
we are doing?
Um,
Not to put you on the spot or
I
anything.
can't remember what block 3 was.
Well, then don't worry about that. What bag have we got next time?
We're doing something for your gardens.
Nice.
Which is going to be very cool. And block 3 is either that one or that one. I can't remember which one it is, either the corner ones or that one. I think it's this one. That's block 3. So it is your half square triangle nightmares, but I'm going to show you a couple of things that will help you along the way.
Perfect. Jeanette says, I think it's a bit weird, but I'm thinking of doing a tongue in the rainbow. sort of flag colour.
Nettie bought, it was the Bugs collection, and they did a rainbow splotty stripe fabric, which would look really good as the lips in rainbow. I'm wondering if the lips in stripes would work well.
I mean, all these options.
Ooh, hello. As your lipstick.
Options. As your lips.
No, but as your lips, if you think of that, that would work really well. You'd have to fussy cut that, but getting your lips along there, that would look amazing. Send me pictures. I'm not even going to attempt that.
Oh, Elizabeth says that she might have a new garden then. Nothing in it till I get there. Elizabeth, you worked such wonders with your last garden. You'll do it again. You'll do it again.
Fabulous.
It'll be amazing. It's like a blank canvas.
We haven't really had a garden for the last 6 years, so I'm looking forward to having one again.
You've been in London, haven't you?
We had a tiny little garden there, but I've got plans. Poor Andrew.
Oh, have you?
Poor Andrew.
When you say poor Andrew, does he do the gardening as well?
Not yet. No, the only thing he's ever said is, I want a gardener. And I'm like, really? Okay.
I think that's fair.
I'm not going to complain with some hot man going and fixing the garden. I don't care. As long as I don't have to do it, he can do what he likes. And don't touch my husband, darling. I've spent years training that one. Oh, I love it. Oh, I always have such fun coming here.
Oh, we look forward to your visits. We always do.
So the next time I'm in, I think, is there a bank holiday Monday at the end of May?
There is actually, isn't there?
But I can't remember the dates, because I think the last Monday in May is the 31st, but I don't know whether you work on bank holidays.
Do you want to do the Tuesday instead? Would that work for you?
Perfect. So it's 1st of June.
Because, yes, it will be.
1st of June.
What a lovely way to start the month.
Perfect.
Because I have, as long as all of my plans, she says, stroking her beard, come together, then there will be another very special interview at the end of May. But I just need a few little things, just need to slot into place.
Perfect.
For that, just before everybody gets their hopes up.
How wonderful. I'm excited.
Yes.
And I don't even know about this yet.
No, I know you don't. Because
I'm very good at keeping secrets. No, I'm very good at keeping secrets.
Are you?
I am.
With lips
My
like
own
that?
secrets, no. Other people's, definitely. I'm very good. I'm a vault.
Oh, amazing. Oh, well, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Elizabeth
you.
says it's lovely to see you, John Cole Morgan.
Thank you.
Natasha, of course. You haven't really seen me.
Here.
It's all good. I will see you tomorrow.
What you doing?
Oh, well, if I can finish my pattern off in time.
Of course you can. Come on.
Then I will be doing, using Lisa's border fabric to do some nesting based things. But I've got some other ideas as well, and I've also just had notification that some rather special fabric has arrived, which is great fun. And so we've got all sorts of goodies on the show for you tomorrow. And
then it's Stitchy Witchy Wednesdays.
Oh, we do. And Stitchy Witchy Wednesday, this Wednesday, is something called Emma's Garden, which is a Lisa Chandler one.
Oh.
And we are using butterflies as a slight alternative to some others. So my thing with Lisa's fabrics has always been that we will have them, we will stock them, we will keep them in stock for you. Because I don't know if you knew that some of her designs have been in print now for 11 years. And they are timeless classics.
And they're incredible.
So we will make sure that we stock them. But that means
she told you the stories behind them
about
the gardens and everything. It's
all in the interview. All in the interview. Don't give too much away. And then, but my promise has been that we won't just leave you buying these fabrics and not show you any way to use them. Because the beauty of Lisa is because she's the fabric designer and the designer of the patterns, because she has that more in-depth understanding as to what will work with her own fabrics. So that has been my pledge, is that I will bring these fabrics and I will do. But then she also says, these things work with Kaffe as well. Switch it up. We'll show you in the fabrics that we have, mix it up.
Well, I won't deny that when you did that amazing Kaffe flower one, I did think to myself, oh my God, Lisa's flowers on that would look incredible as well.
I know,
and I'm going to send you a couple of pictures for that stack and whack of that border fabric, because it'll blow your mind. And having the fabric in stock, when you buy a moda, if you don't buy enough then, that's it. You're stuck. You can't fix it.
Yeah. No, so that is what I want. I want to make sure that everyone is good. And I want to also thank very much Becky Alexander Frost for her time, her generosity,
she's
just
amazing.
everything. She is an amazing human, and it's lovely to even remotely be associated, which is great. So thank you very much to you. And thank you. And can you imagine what everybody is saying as they're going?
Dunno.
Don't
Don't lick anyone!
So until next time, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye!